Side Scrollers is brought to you by you. If you'd like to support the show, head over to patreon.com/sidescrollers. It's time for Side Scrollers on youtube.com. With me, Stuttering Craig. You got a goal? Go get it. Adam Krigler.
Hey, buddy.
Labs.
I want sunshine, I want flowers, and I need it now.
And producer extraordinaire, Travis Key.
Hi, guys.
And brought to you by you, the G2 community, at patreon.com/sidescrollers. And now, broadcasting from our homes, it's time for the number one gaming and entertainment podcast on planet Earth. It's time for Side Scrollers.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, welcome on out to Side Scrollers on youtube.com. What's going on, everybody? Hey, I'm Stuttering Craig. Welcome to the number one video game and entertainment podcast on planet Earth, Side Scrollers. Man, we got a big show today. Literally the biggest show we've ever done in terms of people on this show. I can't wait to introduce you to everybody. But before we do, want to introduce you to the king himself, senior producer extraordinaire. Where is he? Where is he? Oh, I got a big old laundry list of people to pull in. It's Travis Keys. Hello, Travis.
Today is a good day. Today's going to be a good show, I think.
I hope so. Also joining us straight out from the Iceland that is her Guamonian friends. What? I don't even know what I'm talking about. It's Guam. Did
you say Iceland and then Guam in the same sentence?
Yeah, I don't know. You talk about snow and Guam. I don't know. Hello, Blacks.
Yeah, why not?
It's good to see you. How are you?
Good, I'm great. I don't know if you guys noticed, but my Funko has moved. He's on the little shelf, and the lamp is on the other side now. So look at that. He's watching me.
It does kind of look like you have
a
little devil over your shoulder or something.
That's a great shirt, by the way.
Thank you. It's like really comfortable as a dog. You know me.
Dogs, let's go. Let's go. Speaking of dogs. The greatest gamer in the room, straight from the other side of the world. It's Adam Krigler.
What do you mean,
What?
speaking of dogs?
No, in like a good way.
What the hell does that mean?
Like you're a dog. You go, "Yarr," you know? No?
Oh, I
No.
thought you were going with, like, my dog.
Maybe because he barks. I don't know. Adam, do you bark?
No, I don't bark.
You
Stop,
won't?
Adam, stop being a victim. Come on. We're being a dog is a good thing. You can be a dog.
Excuse me, Craig.
Mhm.
All right.
Yes.
Victims happen. It's choosing to remain a victim. That's the choice. All right. And I'm not
Okay, I was going to say,
choosing to remain a victim.
you have a choice to make right now about whether being a dog is a victim. And I use that in a positive light. A dog, for sure.
That Harry Potter Funko, it's a Funko? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I just imagine it slowly moving every time you wake up. It's like a little closer to you, just a little bit. Like
Like in
it
Toy
looks
Story.
pissed off. It looks like it's mad at you right now.
Well, I
like
hope
how
not.
dare
I
you?
feel like it might kill me or something.
It's
I'm
been in the
slowly-
same spot for a long
Ree,
time, and now it's
Ree.
like that was my spot. Why did you move me, Blabs? Can we give her the camera again? Focus
Sure.
on how angry this Harry Potter looks.
Mm.
It is pissed right now.
It
How
does look
dare
kinda
you
bad.
move me up to this little shelf? I had a perfect view of the tree outside. Now I can't see the tree. Okay, that was all I had in my life. Yeah, I would
someone
be
says,
worried.
Weeping Angels from Doctor Who. I agree. He's gonna slowly move when you're not looking at it. Scary.
Will
Pay
you do-
attention.
we do us a favor, and so we can do a stop motion just over time. Just move your Harry Potter Funko around the room. So we
Yeah,
can
just
keep
his
track of
head
it.
a little bit, just like ever so slightly. Just
We're going to
Yeah.
need you to get him on a string and slowly move him as we.
He's actually so heavy. He's almost 7 pounds. For a
Wow.
Funko, that's pretty big.
It's a big boy.
He's a big boy. He needs lots of feeding.
He's got a big head.
Yeah.
Speaking of big heads, hey, check it out. Big boys with big heads. It's Mark the Cyborg.
Yeah.
There he is.
Big Head Club. Woo! Where
Is
my
that a
large
thing?
cranium Sputnik's at.
Let's go. Hey, that's the type of quality content you're going to get from Mark. Mark, good to see you. Thanks so much for coming on the show, man.
Yeah. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah,
I catch you guys on my lunch break at work all the time. You're in the perfect
Aw.
time slot that I'm like
Nice.
on my way to the gym, and yeah, I get to throw on side scrollers. And
That's literally the exact same reason why we chose that time slot of 11 a.m. Central every single day.
it's also
do you
why I
have-
can't be on very frequently because I'm usually at work. I just have a leave day today because
Nice.
I had a range weekend where I was doing medical coverage on an explosives range, and then they're like, okay, well, you were working all weekend, so you can have a day off this week. So I have today off, and then I have Monday off.
Do you have any dogs by you right now? At any
No,
chance?
no. X-Ray
Oh.
Girl got up from her Conan Exiles game, and then I think she took the dogs.
No,
It's not her fault though. They go where their hearts take them.
I
They'll be
understand.
back though for sure.
I was so poetic. They go where their hearts take them.
Hey, they're puppies. You know,
It's very nice.
sweet little puppies.
Speaking of big hearts, big guys, and overwhelming just happiness, it's Kadish from Salty Nerd. Hello.
Hey guys. Yo, Adam, what up, dog?
Yo, what up, dog? I guess that's the thing now. I'm a
I'll
dog.
put you guys next to each other so you guys can stare at each other intently and love each other.
Jeez.
All right,
They're
so
where your heart takes you, man.
that's right. That's right. So we got a good group of 6 today here on the show, and I think Trav will probably be hanging out in the background a little bit as we go along. But before we do, I want to remind you guys. Obviously, if you guys will listen to us on Spotify or iHeartRadio, make sure you guys give us a 5-star rating or give us a nice positive review. Of course, head on down to the comments in YouTube and comment, because that's good for the algorithm. And this is a show that's built around communication with you and looking at the comments. And so you guys are a part of the conversation. So please have that conversation with us as we're chatting and talking about all the ridiculously fun stuff we have on the show today. So also want to remind you guys that this week and this week only, we have available our Beat Your Demons t-shirt. So make sure you guys pick up your Beat Your Demons. Where are you? Right here. There we are.
I
Your
believe in you, Craig.
Demon shirt. There it is. I got it. Your Beat Your Demons t-shirt available this week and this week only. It will go away after this week, but you can pick it up. Your Beat Your Demons red or your Beat Your Demons purple shirt. This has been a very popular shirt so far, so make sure you guys go pick it up. And while you're there, pick up a Side Scroller's cap and maybe a mouse pad or a beanie for all those cold winter days.
Hey, it's called a toque, eh?
a toque.
Yeah, Canadian.
Yeah.
That
Those are
sounds-
toques, not
Sounds
beanies.
derogatory.
Those
Like, you're
Canadians,
such a
man.
toque, man.
You sound.
Is
sound
Canadian
so
just a
wonderful
derogatory
thing, eh?
term in
Blabs,
general?
Blabs,
Get
please
yourself
don't
a nice
insult our
toque,
guests.
keep you warm, snuggle up with some Tim Hortons coffee.
Timmy.
I don't understand a word you just said.
I
Well,
understand
yeah, you
all of
wouldn't-
it.
That
It's
was
okay.
a bunch of gibberish.
Oh, we don't understand what you be saying in the Nords, eh?
Sure. What?
Okay, I'm
anyone
sorry.
understand?
Just real quick, I
Anyone?
had to pull
I
Mark out
do.
of this real quick. Hold on, I had to pull
I
Mark
got
out.
nothing.
Hey, what the hell is this guy even saying right now?
Craig,
Right,
I don't
so
know,
he's talking
man.
about his Timmy's.
I don't speak Canuck.
Timmy's coffee.
Okay, let's try this
And his
again.
hat.
Let's try this again.
Okay, I
Um,
won't speak Canadian anymore. I'm saying that like we might
Thank
not
goodness.
understand some of the things that you say in the Nordic region, Sweden, where you're at.
I speak English, damn it. What are you talking about?
You
This guy
probably
speak good English.
I'm- there's regional dialect. You guys have a full-blown language. We just talk kind of weird.
There's
we-
like
from America.
there's like
Yeah.
20 different dialects in Sweden, and they all
there
make
you
fun
go.
of each other. It's actually really hilarious.
Yeah. Just
Can you
like
name some of the
well, I mean,
dialects?
I'm not an East Coaster, so technically all I was doing there was just making fun of East Coasters. I'm from. I grew up in Toronto. I'm a city guy. I just sound like this normally.
I've been to Toronto. Toronto's a cool spot.
I
Yeah,
like Toronto.
Toronto, it's okay. Yeah.
The airport's
Have you
shit.
been? Have you
Yeah.
been to Toronto?
The rest is fun.
Mhm, Yep. I
What
was
did,
up
you,
in
what did you do in Toronto?
I was in Toronto for a big gaming convention called EGLX,
Okay.
and it was put on a few years ago. I did it. I was a host up there, and it was, I don't know, it felt very like concrete. Toronto
Yeah,
did.
it's a city.
Very much
Yeah.
so.
Though there
What city
is,
doesn't?
Well,
Yeah.
the thing is though, with Toronto, there's one thing that you might not know about Toronto unless you drive around there on the highways or you live there, and that there's a big valley that sort of goes right through the east end of the city, like north south to the water. And it's like a nature trail. It's kind of like a provincial park, and you can ride your bike there, and it's like you're just in the woods from northern Toronto, like up in the suburbs, all the way down. Takes about an hour to ride a bike down to the lakeshore. And that's the part of Toronto that it's like, this feels like nature right here. This is the part of nature that's like this big vein that runs through the entire city. The thing is, though, if you get out of the airport and then you take a cab or an Uber down to the convention center, which is right by the CN Tower usually, or the exhibition, the Canadian National Exhibition is the other place where they often have conventions. And then you're there and you're in downtown Toronto. It's just Manhattan, basically. It's
Right.
tiny Manhattan. That's why we're Manhattan in every movie you've ever seen, because it's cheap as hell to shoot there, at least compared to New York. But yeah, it's real concrete jungle and the areas where you'll probably be if you're just visiting. But yeah, there's some nature in Toronto too. And
Just
if you
to-
go up to the suburbs, like
Have you ever heard of the Toronto board meeting?
no.
So the Toronto board meeting is a skate event that
Oh,
happens
I
once
might
a
have
year.
heard of this actually.
You might have heard of this?
Yeah.
Okay. So I went to join the Toronto board meeting
Mm.
and skating around Toronto. I was part of a skate crew at the time. The Bustin' Boards, I was on their team, and we all went up in a bus and did the Toronto board meeting, and it was a lot of fun skating around Toronto. Concrete jungles are a
Yeah.
haven for skateboarders. So
Yeah.
as a skater, man, Toronto was my jam.
Yeah,
lot of
I
good skate
used to
spots.
skateboard in high school and then started breaking my ankle and now don't no longer have that ankle. So maybe it wasn't my sport. I was a good snowboarder though, but your ankles aren't really a factor in snowboarding. They're sort of locked where they are.
Yeah, they're locked in there. Yeah, true.
Whereas skateboarding, your ankles are in much greater danger.
I have
Very
a
true.
big important question for you, Mark, about this vein of nature that goes through Toronto.
The Don Valley is what it's called.
So similar to Central Park in New York, can you get stabbed on your while you're in that vein? Is it possible?
Sure. I mean, it's still a big metropolitan city, but I think you're much more likely to get stabbed in the club district at night.
Okay, noted.
That is where a bunch of the violence happens. That is random violence that you might find yourself caught in. Obviously, it's a big city, so there's gang violence, but that can happen anywhere at any time. It's more organized, so it's hard to say. But I wouldn't recommend riding your bike through the Don Valley at night. That's probably not the best call. But during the day, you see kids rollerblading around there, and it's a pretty safe place for the most part.
Well, I appreciate that incredible Toronto insight to start our show. It's not where I anticipated us going, but we're ready to go. For those who don't know, Kadish is just hanging out down there in the corner. Kadish,
I live in beautiful, crime-free Las Vegas, so I'm scared to go to Toronto now. It sounds awful.
We're visiting Vegas in a month.
Oh yeah,
the Nerd
Gotta
Rock
give us
meetup.
a shout out.
Yeah, get you guys together. That would be great.
Yeah, totally.
So today on the show, we have it's going to be just an insane show. There's so much to talk about here today in the world of video game and entertainment news, and some of it's ridiculous, and other parts of it are equally ridiculous, and for other reasons. But before we get into that, Kiwi Goes Live says, I first saw this invention in the movie One-Eyed Monster. Totally worth seeing it if you haven't. I don't know if that's the type of movie we necessarily are looking to watch right now, but I'm sure.
Dirty.
Put it on. We'll be the judge of that.
Bojangles came in with the $2 super chat. Says, "Low viewers, get DSP back on." I think we're right where we want to be right now, which is great.
Good.
Winterfell came in with the $1.99 super chat. Says, "Crag loves dogs." Crag does love dogs, absolutely. And Backyard Tartar says, "Wow, it's Salty Nerd on side scrollers." That's right. That's right. The crossover event you've been waiting for, Backyard Tartus. And Jonathan, thank you so much for becoming a member. Says for 5 straight months. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. All right, Kadish, you actually wanted to bring something up before we got into anything. You wanted to ask some questions?
Yeah, so just like tens of thousands of other people, I've watched your Dark Side Phil interview and was completely fascinated by it. And I think the most entertaining aspect of watching that interview was seeing Adam slowly lose his cool over the course of 5 hours. And it reminds me of the OG Timcast days where Adam would just have this bullshit alarm, or I don't know if I can curse on it, BS alarm kind of go off.
Yeah, you can curse.
Say whatever you want
to people. And you could just see his eyes light up at certain points when Phil was kind of throwing down nonsense left and right. And the moment I realized, because I don't really follow Phil all that much, but I know of him, and he's one of those guys whose reputation kind of precedes him. And I always kind of felt sorry for the guy because I'd heard about his bankruptcy and he's being persecuted and all this stuff tangentially. And I actually had a exchange with It's a Gundam about it at one point because he was just being super hard on Phil, and I was like, hey, maybe you should lighten up on this guy. It sounds like he's going through a tough time. He's like, no, screw Phil. You don't know the half of his depravity. And the minute that Phil said that he didn't really know who Gundam was after you played like that little voice message. I was like, okay, everything he just said was like a complete lie. And I was just wondering, like, when you guys were like on the stream talking to him, like especially like you, Adam, it's like, at what point did the switch flip and be like, okay, this guy's just completely full of BS. Everything he's telling us is a lie, and we need to call him out on it.
When did I realize it? I kind of went into the interview thinking that might be the case. So I was already on the side of, I don't trust you. I'm going to listen to I'm going to take what you say with a grain of salt, but I'm going to listen to what you're saying. You know, give him the honest try to listen. So I really was sitting there listening the whole time. I honestly, I was trying to do that the entire time, but it wasn't until Keem came on and DSP tried to explain to Keem why he didn't trust Keem. There was a moment where I was like, you're using your own detractors' arguments as like the reason you don't like this guy. Like, that's it. I've had enough. Like, dude, you're it's all bullshit. Like, you can't try to convince me that your detractors make all these lies and then say that you watch Keem's detractors and suddenly like, that's okay. Those aren't lies. You know, I already, because I was already on edge. I was already like, I don't really trust you. I'm going to go in kind of on this edge of, I want to poke holes in whatever argument that you bring. And I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt still, even through that. Right. So I was like, I was in this like weird middle ground of, I'm going to try to listen to you. I'm going to try to give you a chance. And hey, if you bring some facts, if you actually prove that this shit isn't real, because I've seen a lot of shit, then okay, cool, right? I'm open to the idea of my mind being changed, which most people should be, right? I wasn't stuck on that side, but that's the side I started on. And
well, you weren't even familiar with DSP before he came on the show, right?
I had never heard of him before Craig had said, Craig had said, hey, we're going to have DSP on the show. And everyone was like, oh, no way. And I'm like, who the fuck is DSP? And why is everyone having this reaction? And oh my God, what is Craig getting me into, you know? And I just kind of, I don't know. I did a little bit of research. I watched some videos and talked to a few people that were like, oh boy, you're in for a treat, you know? And so I kind of was like, oh God, this is going to be exhausting. And it certainly was exhausting.
The funny thing about that was I went in, the first question that I asked in the interview was, people have said I shouldn't interview you. And I legitimately, I probably had, no joke, probably 6 people reach out and be like, I don't know, man, this is not good. This is not a good idea. Tread lightly. You should not do this. This is not a good idea. And I was like, well, we committed, so we're going to go for it. And, you know, in our little chat that we have every day, you know, on Twitter between, you know, DMs and stuff, there was like a lot of talk of like, oh shit, we're going to go through the fire for this thing. And similar to with Adam went in with a different mindset than I did, where my mindset was, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and have him prove me, you know, have him like the innocent until proven guilty type thing. And because I'm a big believer in that. I think you should have, you know, you should be innocent until guilty. But just over the course of the 5 hours for me personally, it was like it was so blatantly obvious that it was like, I can't even believe he's just shoveling this shit, trying to shovel this shit in our mouths. And I could see watching the archive and pulling clips for it. There were several times where if there was an off button for Adam and you just hit it and he just like powers down and just became so mentally drained from all the nonsense he was hearing. It was crazy. So,
well, you know what's funny about DSP is that, you know, he comes off like in a vacuum, very sincere. Like if you're just listening to like him alone and he's like explaining his side of the story, you're like, okay, yeah, I could see sympathizing with the guy. But the minute you started kind of like really like zeroing in on like specific things, and you saw him kind of like dance around it and double talk it and stuff like that, it became very obvious that, like, you know, he was being very insincere. And one of the most interesting parts of the interview, for me at least, was about like, well, so let me kind of just put this to the panel, because we're all like YouTubers. We do a lot of live streaming. I know Adam's pretty much on doing like shows like constantly throughout the day. And it's like, when you stream as much as Phil does, right? And he says that he's playing a character, he's playing Dark Side Phil. You know, I come from Hollywood. I studied acting and directing and stuff like that. And trained method actors can like go into a character for like, you know, 24 hours. They can inhabit that character for like a period of time, but they always kind of like, you know, have like mental issues when they come out of the character, right? Because it's like you're basically changing your personality. So with someone who streams like 8 hours a day, 15 hours a day, every single day, you either, if you're playing a character, you either become that character, or you're just streaming so much that you reveal who you actually are and you try to pass it off like you're playing a character. And I don't think Phil, like no offense to the guy, but I don't think he's a skilled enough actor to pretend to be someone he's not for as long as he is on you know, live streaming. So the idea that he's talking about like, oh, I'm not racist, I got a stupid sense of humor, I did stupid things and all this other stuff, like, to me, it feels like there's more evidence out there of who he really is based off of his previous live streams than you know, what he was presenting on his interview. Now, maybe he's trying to change, which is, you know, a good thing, but it just feels like we all know who Phil is based off of like his previous live streams. Do you guys believe that it's possible to inhabit a character every day, like 8 hours, 15 hours a day?
No,
and
100% no.
Okay.
No,
Agreed.
no.
Craig asked him, you know, who is DSP and who is Phil? Like, what's the difference? And he did not give an answer at all. He did this roundabout. Honestly, with all of his answers were these like roundabout. I don't really want to answer that, so I'm going to give you this other thing. I mean, 75% of the time, he just started talking about his detractors and the lies that are out there. It wasn't actually saying, all right, DSP is this and Phil is this. I think being a character sounds exhausting. You know, I love being who I am. I'm a sarcastic wise ass, and when I'm allowed to be me on shows, I thrive. I have such a good time doing that, especially when I'm around a group of people that dish it out as much as they can take it. You know, especially like side scrollers. Like, I love it here because it's so much fun. I get to make fun of these guys, they make fun of me, and we have a great time, you know. He seems unable to make fun of himself or take criticism at all because
Puppies!
because I guess the puppies are back.
Oh, hold on, am I not muted?
No.
we heard that. That was
Oh,
cute.
sorry about that.
Sorry.
Oh no,
Sorry,
that's like my
sorry.
mixing board should. Okay,
There
so
you go.
You're muted.
my cough button works, but my mute button doesn't.
Like,
Oh.
we're going into this like psychological thought process. Puppies!
No, they
Puppies!
were barking, so I was trying to like. I think they were barking at something outside, and I didn't know if you guys could hear them. So that's.
That
I
seemed a lot
turned my
more like
camera off so they
you were
wouldn't
just
see me
excited.
going, "Puppies!"
Yeah, I
and
think
see,
you
like,
just
my
wanted
neck
them.
veins
I think you
going
were
and shit.
summoning them. You wanted them
No.
to come to you and sit in your lap.
I mean, I
Oh.
do.
Like, I'm
I'm not,
bored of
that's
DSP
also
talk. Let's
part
talk
of
about
it.
something else.
I'll tell you
Sorry,
what, man.
Yeah, maybe.
I gotta figure out what's up with my mute button. Does anyone
All
even
right.
hear me the other times I was muted?
Yeah, a little
we
bit.
Heard,
That's
we heard
okay.
the puppies the other time.
And my
too.
coffee mug and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Everything.
Yeah,
Wait,
I
I'm
heard
gonna-
your coffee.
At least
mug.
you
I heard the
recognized
coffee-
that the
I heard
camera was
clink,
off.
clink of the
No,
Chinaware.
because like that's the thing. I was muting so that I could drink my coffee and not have to worry about being a giant asshole that's like, being like clink,
I
clink,
didn't-
clink.
We just thought you were being incredibly inconsiderate. So that's
Oh
all right.
no, I'm happy I figured that out.
No, it's okay, man. This is
I
awesome.
apologize. I sincerely
it's totally
thought I
fine.
was muted. and that
Totally
you
fine.
couldn't hear
At
me,
least there
but-
wasn't anything else, right?
That's
Yeah.
great. Can I get
I-
some puppy dogs in the chat, please?
So the
for,
camera's
for
still
more-
on. The camera was on the whole time, eh? Wow, I didn't even know.
All right, well, let's.
actually didn't know about my
Feature
mic
Demons
being muted.
t-shirt now available.
I
on
will
Side
s-
Scrollers.
Real
I will
quick
say,
before
as
we-
a, go ahead.
Before we move on, I was just wondering if you guys had watched any of like Phil's like responses. I know he had a particularly pointed response towards Adam, where he basically just started, slagging on Adam on his own live stream,
Yeah, I had watched
based
a
off
little
of
bit
like
it.
Adam's like take on the interview, which I think was pretty accurate.
So
Yeah, it did. He called Adam an asshole at one point, and I was like, "Time to go." Just I left.
yeah, I can be an asshole. I openly admit it. I haven't seen it, no, but I've been told that he's got some dirt on like me and Craig's dark history that could land us in jail. I said this
Nice
before, and I'll
knowing you
say it
guys.
again. By all means, DSP, please make that video. That would be fucking hilarious. I want to see what he knows. It's like,
Right.
cool, man. All right,
And
have fun.
he just so happened to find it on both of you too. You know,
Right.
whatever
Yeah,
it
yeah.
may be.
Like, okay,
After
dude,
the interview too, not beforehand.
Like
you okay, buddy?
it's like I've not watched a single second of it. I have been like the detractors. They tweet everything at us. Did you see this? And it's like, yeah, okay, whatever. And I don't watch the clips of it. But yeah, apparently we've got dirt. There's dirt on these guys. Like that I was like a business owner and that I had to fire people. And like it's
Okay,
insane.
dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
feel like
watched
you
a
guys
couple.
gave DSP like content for the next 6 months.
You-
watched
I
a
gave him the
couple-
idea. The detractor reactor. Like, bro, use it by all means. That I said you should do that. Own it and make that a thing because you clearly need something that is going to level you up because you love being where you're at and you need to level up somehow. Keem said it to him right. I mean, it was kind of brutal, but it was truth.
Well, the part where he said flat out that he didn't know who It's a Gundam is.
Mhm.
It's like, dude, you've interacted with this guy before. You totally know who he is.
Yeah,
course he
did he
does.
say
You've
he was
seen
on
his videos. You've
the
responded to
radio or
his videos.
something?
Yeah, you complained he was like stalking you, and you don't know who he is. Right?
Oh man, he sounds like that guy from Howard Stern.
Yeah.
Bro, that's not
As a
cool.
viewer, the part that did it for me was when he spent 20 minutes telling them he doesn't keep track of expenses. That's somebody else's job. And then he says, well, wait a minute. Here's my sheet of expenses.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
You don't keep track of expenses.
What
Wait,
was the whole like WWE controversy? I still wasn't
I-
familiar with that.
It's
like,
Oh,
such a
man.
rabbit hole. Like honestly,
Ugh.
it's just such a rabbit hole. I don't even like.
I don't want to go there.
Yeah,
It's a mess, dude.
it's a mess. It's a mess.
Well,
It's a
I mean,
mess.
It's a mobile game that he's addicted to.
was the gist
sir.
of it that he was spending a bunch of money on this mobile game and telling people that he was broke and couldn't make rent and trying
and
to
he
get
needed
people
money
to
for
send money?
specific
Basically,
things.
yeah.
So
basically.
that's
Okay.
that's part of it. But the mobile game, but he denies playing the mobile game. But the mobile game account is
He's not
his.
playing it. He plays it, but he's not addicted to it, even though he was addicted to the previous iteration of the game, and also another mobile game that he was addicted to. Fully addicted, but he's beat the addiction, and now he's playing just casually.
And that wasn't his screen name,
Just-
but he
and
didn't
the-
want to show
yes.
you his screen name because somehow if he showed you, Craig, then everybody would know.
Right. The account is tied to a line account, which is tied to his phone number, which is also tied to a Discord that he owns. Like it's this insurmountable amount of evidence that anybody could look at and be like, oh yeah, that's clearly his. But he's like, nope. So anyways, so it's enough. It's crazy. And I know we're going to hear about it forever, and that's fine. I totally embrace that. And I'll gladly talk about it when everybody wants to talk
You
about
guys
it. 'cause-
did an excellent job. The fact that it was just you, Craig, and Adam like talking to the guy, like I think if there had been more people on the panel, it would have been too much. But just letting Phil talk and kind of like have like the new
dig his own
Thor
hole?
Titan,
Yeah.
like have him do it himself. That was the most brilliant part of that interview, is that everyone could see like the lies stack up on top of each other, and then whenever you guys would ask a question, the lies would just get bigger and bigger, and before long it became obvious. It's like, this guy is just full of crap. Like he's not telling the truth at all. And I
Yeah.
feel like you guys did an amazing job with that interview. So like, yeah, you're going to hear about it for a long time because it was really good.
Well, thank you. And Phil has an open invite to come on the show anytime.
Is he actually going to come back for part two?
From Craig.
From me,
Craig.
not from Adam.
To be honest, if he came back and owned up to his shit, I would still
100%.
be willing to help him. But
100%. By the way, on Monday, I've been slicing up the interview and posting little clips of it on online every day at 3:00 here on the channel. On Monday, for the first time, the entire post show that was on Patreon is going to be on the channel. So I'm gonna put that out there for the first time so everybody can see the entire post show. I think that'll be a real interesting watch for a lot of folks.
Yeah,
All right.
I wasn't there for the post show. I had to go get some food. I don't know if you noticed. I was getting it's funny because
Cranky?
I was getting hungry, you know. So because I hadn't eaten dinner.
It was
Usually,
like one of those
I
Snickers commercials. You were turning into Tim Pool. You know.
You're
Well,
not.
and-
You're not you
and,
when
and
you're
I
hungry.
imagine trying to deal with Tim Pool while you're hungry, and it's like, oh god, and DSP is significantly worse. So, but I don't really want to dwell on DSP. But we did start mentioning before the show started today. I asked, I was talking. Craig called me the best gamer in the room, and I was like, well, we got Mark the Cyborg here. I know he's a real gamer. And
I don't ever describe myself as being technically very skilled, though. I've just got a lot of determination, and I can strategize well. So
That's
if
a
I can
gamer
take
right
my
there.
time,
Hey,
yeah,
that's a gamer. All right.
the thing
Not
is,
all
though, every
gamers
so
are
often,
good.
though, people will expect me to just like start a game at midnight. For example, Resident Evil 4 is coming out at midnight tonight. Lots of people expect me to start and be like, all right, professional difficulty. We're playing one-handed. We're putting this one underneath the other
One eye
leg,
closed.
and we're going to be balancing a book on our head the entire time. I'm just like, no, guys, I'm going to be dying a lot.
I feel like you need to do that now and own it.
Well, but
I
no,
want to see the
do.
book on top
It's
of your
gotta be
head.
like a reward.
I
for
can't.
doing
Like that's the whole
something.
thing. It's like no, I'm not that. I'm not the type of person who you should watch my gaming content because I'm incredibly skilled at video games. I'm very good at looking at them, analyzing why they work, what parts of them don't work, how they could maybe be better, why certain games have done the similar ideas better than this one, and I kind of, like studying them in a way. Like it's like, hey, this one was
Yeah.
made really, really well, and here's why. Or this one everyone says is made really, really well, but I don't understand why because it has all of these problems. Like that's kind of stuff I'm
Fortnite.
good at. Yeah, God, I'm never going to tackle that one. Mostly because I won't install the Epic Store on my computer because that's one of the
Here,
few
here.
political causes that I actually do take up. I was like, Epic,
Yeah.
stop it with the
10 cents.
exclusives, or I'm not using your store ever. Which means
I won't
I
anyway.
gotta say, just there's a bit of a tangent, but speaking on Epic, X-Ray Girl was playing Fortnite for a while, and I guess I understand the pull of how people end up buying so much shit because I'm just looking at X-Ray Girl's menu and I'm just like, oh shit, RoboCop. I was
Mhm.
like, should I maybe like log in and then get this RoboCop skin just in case I ever do end up playing it with X-Ray Girl? I have RoboCop, and I was like, oh,
Almost got
fuck,
you.
that's how they get you. I was like, I don't even
Mhm.
like this game. I flat out hate the company that makes it. And the only times I ever have played it, granted, it wasn't during the no build era, but I hate the building stuff. So I was just like, no, this sucks. I'm playing Apex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, there's our trio. We got our trio.
Calm
Okay,
down,
Apex,
guys.
Apex, yeah, I'm
Mora.
pretty good at Apex. So.
Me too. I'm really good at Apex.
Hold on, I was going somewhere.
Or at least
Let's not
Okay.
get into
I haven't played
Apex.
in about
Sorry,
All right.
sorry.
Mark wanted to talk about what he talked about there. The hubris is just it's gone. There's no hubris over there. But before the show, I asked Matt. I was like, I don't know if you game, and you mentioned mobile gaming, and you're like, well, I mobile game, and you hear that, and of course we talk about the interview a little bit, and I'm just like, oh man, mobile game, huh? Is it WWE? Is it a WWE game, or what game do you play, Matt? What's the game?
So I actually play 3 games. And,
3?
Yes, my fiance hates this because I have to log in and do dailies on all 3 of these games every day.
Okay.
So like,
I like that you said you have to. I have to do this.
I used
You
to be a
noticed that?
Destiny player. I understand the I have to in that sentence. Like,
Mhm. well,
No, they got
I
rid of
come
that,
from
by the way.
oh really?
just to give some context, I come from like a background in MMOs. Like I was a big MMO gamer for like a really long time. And
Best MMO ever. Go. Just you got 10 seconds.
best what?
One MMO ever.
Oh, I liked DC Universe
7,
Online.
6, 5. Okay, I hear good things. Anyway, continue your mobile games.
So a while back, I was vacationing in Texas, visiting some friends, and my car broke down, and I was stuck there for like a week. And I had like, this house that I rented, and I got really into like Facebook games. Okay. And particularly this one called Mob Wars or Mafia Wars. And before I knew it, I had spent like $3,000 on that game just over the course of that week.
Okay, hold on, real quick. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Let's
More
just-
expensive than my
Week, you
GPU.
said?
you spent $3,000 on a
$3,000.
Facebook game?
On a Facebook game, yeah.
Craig,
Wait.
can you do me a favor? Can you give me the camera for a second?
Yeah. Absolutely. You got it, buddy.
Now, this, ladies and gentlemen, is what honesty looks like. Owning up to spending $3,000 on a mobile game. It's not easy, but sometimes it's necessary. Okay, thank you. I
You
So
got it.
technically, this wasn't a mobile game. This
Strange.
was a game that you played on Facebook. It was one of Zynga's early games before they. like, went
Zuckerberg
full
thinks-
I mean, if This is basically the same thing.
The way they got you was like I would refresh my energy. I'd run out of energy, so I couldn't do anything, and I was getting like hyper competitive with like other mobs, and so like I had to spend money to refresh my energy in order to like do more mafia stuff. And just over the course of like the week, like it wasn't like I was like not able to pay rent. I could afford it, so I was just like, oh, I'll just throw money at it. It's entertainment. I might as well be going out to the movies or something like that. But when I realized how much I had spent, I've been like, ooh, whoa, I'm not playing this game anymore. So when I kind of got out of the MMO realm, I was like, again, I was home for like the holidays and I was just looking for something to spend time doing. And I started looking at my mobile phone and what type of games were available. And I'm not a very good gamer. Like I'm not very twitchy, like I can't do like the FPS, like Fortnite, type stuff because like I'm old and slow. Basically, but I really like strategy games. I really like strategizing. I was on the chess club in high school and stuff like that. And I also have a mild case of OCD. And I stumbled upon this game called Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and it's a hero collector game where basically they have all these different characters from Star Wars in the game, and you unlock them, you star them up, you gear them up, you basically upgrade them so that you can go into battles and fight in a way that's not twitchy. It's almost like chess. And I got super into this game over the course of like one Christmas holiday. And I ended up spending like $1,000 on it because I didn't know how it worked, right? Like within the span of like 5 days, I had spent $1,000 on this game.
Jeez.
And I was like, ooh, that's way too much money to be spending on a mobile game. But once I figured out how it worked and how to do like free to play and stuff like that and just enjoy it instead of getting like super competitive, because I look at it as like a collection hobby. I haven't spent money on it in years, basically, since I first bought it. So I was like, okay, that money's going to amortize over time, going towards this game. But now I play Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes every day. I play this game called Dragon Champions every day, which is another hero collector game, kind of in the vein of World of Warcraft. And I also play Marvel Strike Force, which is the Marvel version of the hero collector game. And so I play these 3 games every day. I log in, do my dailies. I'm in guilds, so the guilds require you to like do certain activities every day. And I just build up my roster and collect these digital characters in each 3 of these games. And it's fun, but like, yeah, my Salty Nerd co-host will tell you, like, we'll be sitting here doing a recording. I'll be doing my dailies while the camera's like not on me. That's how addicted to these games I am. And it got to the point where my lovely fiance, Jude, was like, look, you can't play these games when I'm around. Otherwise, we're done. And so I have to wake up at like 4 a.m. to do my dailies, get them all done out of the way so I can just go throughout my day and, do live streams like this. Yeah.
How long does it take you to do them all?
It depends on the game. So like Marvel Strike Force has the most stuff you have to do every day. And I'm kind of like a min-maxer that comes from like the old MMO days. So like I always want to try to get like the most bang for my buck in terms of like energy spend and stuff like that. So Marvel takes about 45 minutes to an hour. The Star Wars game takes the least amount of time. Like you can burn through that in about 20 minutes. So it depends.
Okay. I want to scrap everything we're talking about, because this is a really fascinating conversation. I'm going to scrap the entire show because I think this is like, I am fascinated by you and you're openly saying I'm addicted to this, right? To the point to where you're saying I have spent thousands of dollars. I'm waking up at 4 a.m. to do this because my wife said, if you do this when you're around me, I don't want to be with you, right? So walk me through this. What is it about the games that draws you in? Is it the dopamine rush? Let's start there.
Well, I mean, I used to collect comic books. Is there anyone on the panel who collects anything? I know that.
Oh God, Travis, stop, Travis. No.
I used to collect a lot of stuff.
Travis collects things.
Yes, lots of things.
I know Blabs has like, her collection and stuff like that.
She's the collector, absolutely.
I used to be a huge Star Wars figure collector, like all through my childhood and stuff. My parents and I would make a habit of going to garage sales in the area and just trying to find. I never really cared about having mint in box stuff. I was just like, no, I want to find the toys in like really good condition. And I actually remember the first AT-AT I got was from my elementary school's kindergarten toy box.
Cool.
And we offered to just give them a bunch of educational toys in exchange for the AT-AT.
Yeah.
Nice.
We
That's
screwed
a
those
slamming deal.
kindergartners.
Side note, real quick. I just have a question for you, both of you guys, Mark and
Mhm.
Matt. Now, when you hear the word figure, does that pronounce correctly? Does that sound right?
Yeah.
How do you guys say that word?
Figure,
Figure.
like, I mean, pretty much like that. But I might have it sound more like figure, just if I'm saying it fast. Like,
What about you, Matt?
I'd understand it.
Well, I'm famously bad for pronouncing stuff, but I call it figurines.
Figures. Yeah.
Oh, and
We gotta do this for
on the
every single
topic
guest
yesterday, her Funko Pop. I heard you guys. I couldn't say anything though. Not an action figure. An action figure
No.
needs to move, but
I
it is a
agree, I agree.
figure. It's a statue.
now. I mean, his head swivels, but yeah.
Yeah, I
you're
didn't
right.
think it was an
Average.
action figure. No.
No, well,
They
no,
say
I don't know.
don't
Head
they say on the
swiveling.
Okay,
box?
that's,
okay. There's a larger there's a longer, bigger
I
conversation.
couldn't help myself, Craig.
All right.
Figure.
But
Hey, just-
the
I wanna
point I
talk
was
about
trying
this.
to make is
Stop it,
that
yes.
most people have like something that they enjoy collecting, whether it be
Mhm.
action figures or coins or stamps or baseball cards or like whatever the case may be.
TV
Like,
magazines.
Yeah, like most
Wallets.
All
people,
of the above.
most people like collecting things, and for me, it's not necessarily like a dopamine rush for like buying or unlocking stuff. It's that each one of these things, first of all, they're IPs I love. So you have Marvel, you have Star Wars, and then you have this weird like kind of like fantasy realm game that I play. And so like when you get into that universe and you realize that you can collect these digital characters, but not only collect them, but you can also upgrade them and you can use them to do stuff. So they have like utility to them. And so like my whole addiction is about getting as many of these characters unlocked and maxed out as possible so that I can do like other fun stuff within the game. So it's kind of like a collection type thing. Like if I was still collecting comic books, I'd be spending the money from these mobile games on buying like the latest issue of like Spider-Man or something like that. So it's just like a collection thing for me.
Just Matt, have you ever considered playing a game that just has a lot of unlockables that is not doesn't even have a pay element to it at all? Because
Yeah.
take for example Smash Brothers. It doesn't have like a story mode where you can collect little figurines of all.
Yeah, but
the
I don't like.
characters and-
I really don't like Twitch-based like fighting games or FPS. Like I did play Star Wars Battlefront when it came out, and I just every time I'd go online, I'd get destroyed. The last game I really like dove into and played like until like the bitter end was Mass Effect Andromeda, and that's an RPG.
sorry.
So like I really enjoy RPGs and stuff like that, and I actually thought it was a pretty fun game. But for the most part, like if something's like really twitchy, like if it's like hyper competitive, the thing I like about these hero collector games is that when you fight against another player, it's all turn based. So
Well,
like,
and
you don't
I
have
was
to be,
going to
like,
suggest
super
that
good.
you can. There's a lot of great turn-based games that are out there that are, you pay for the product and then that's it. You spend your time getting the maximum amount of enjoyment by like collecting all the power-ups and things like that, and maximizing the different
Well, the funny
routes that
thing
you
about
can through the story and character builds and things like that.
the
And
funny thing about these games is like number one, they're free to download, but
Mhm.
like if you don't want to spend money on them, you don't have to. Like I
Yeah.
like right now, like after years of playing these games, I learned like okay, like you don't have to spend money to enjoy these games. And so like I spend money very rarely. I do still spend money to like maybe like unlock a new character or max out a character like if I'm really close to the end of that journey. But like I'll never do like, so for instance, Marvel Strike Force, occasionally they'll have these sales where they'll have like 50 character shards for like $5. I'd be like, okay, 50 character shards for $5, that's worth it to me. I'd spend that on like a Starbucks latte.
Mhm.
And instead of buying the latte, I buy character shards to max out this character. So for me, like I very rarely spend money on these things because I learned how to not do that, right? And I still enjoy the games, and my addiction to them is more about getting more collectibles than it is
Mhm.
about like getting a dopamine rush or spending money or like gambling or whatever.
Okay.
So let me. This is like a fast. First off, I think it's like really brave of you to be able to recognize that you have an addiction to these things. I think it's really, really cool of you to be able to understand that, and I think people should commend you for that. I think that's actually really admirable.
Well, keep in mind, I also have like a mild case of OCD, and so like it's just part of my nature to like once I start something, I commit to it and I stick with it. And unless it's like something truly detrimental to my social life or my finances or whatever, I'll continue to do it. You know, like
So the
I'm not
FOMO
in the
is real.
poorhouse because of mobile games, you know, but
That's
like
what I'm hearing.
there's actually people out here in Las Vegas that I've become friends with who are in like the mobile game, like YouTube, like niche, and they spend like 20, 30 grand a month on their mobile games, but it's like a business write-off or like whatever. So for me, like if I want to spend like $30 a month or $50 a month or even $100 a month on my 3 mobile games, to me, like that's just like, okay, well, that's an entertainment expense. That's something I can afford and it's something that I enjoy doing. And it's no different from someone going out and buying like 5 Funko Pops or something like that to add to their shelf in the background or what have you.
Yeah, see, I
So-
don't begrudge you spending money on it, and you know, if you can afford it, it's yours to spend. It's your money, you know. It's when it becomes detrimental to other people that to me it's an issue. And I get playing online games because I play Star Trek Fleets, and I get on there every day.
So will you just kind of like if you could put a ballpark on how much money you think you spent lifetime on mobile games? You said you have friends who are spending $20,000 to $30,000 a month on these
Yeah.
games.
Mhm.
Well, first off, I want to know about how much. If you were to put a ballpark on how much money you spent on these games, that'd be amazing. And then I want to know what are your friends doing that they can spend 20 to 30 grand per month? And
Well,
by
I
the way,
told
the
you-
Side Scrollers mobile game is coming soon.
So I told you my friends who spend that much every month, they're in the mobile game YouTube niche. So they make videos on these games. They get like sponsorships and affiliate offers and all types of stuff. So they actually make money spending money on these games, right? So to them it's a business. So like, you know, if they're spending 20 grand a month, they're making like 50, 60 grand a month or something like that. So it's not like, you know, like a bad thing, but like I talk to them because they give me really good advice on my games, on like, you know, how to play my games. I started with Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I think it was either 2018 or 2019, one of those 2 years. And this game has been around a long time. In fact, fun fact, it's the most profitable Star Wars video game to ever exist. It's made like $2 billion over the course of its lifetime. It continues to make
You'll
money.
get there one day, Republic Commando.
Yeah, it continues to make money like hand over fist, month over month, because there are whales who go into these games and they just
Who are
have lots
also
of money.
addicted.
Yeah, they just have lots of money, and it's kind of funny because some people will like build up accounts and then like sell them off for like, you know, whatever it is they paid for them, or sometimes at a profit, to people who just don't want to spend the time and effort building up something over the course of years. But like basically, I started playing these games because I was bored and I wanted something to do, and I liked the IP. And at the time, there were like a couple of mobile games for Star Wars out there. There was one MOBA and stuff like that, and I tried that and I didn't really like it. But this style of game just kind of appeals to people like me, where it's like it's a collectible game. And to answer your question, Craig, about how much I've spent on like, do you just mean mobile games since like the dawn of time, or
Since you feel you've been addicted to them.
Okay. So I would say, so when I first started playing and I didn't really understand how these games worked or were monetized, because, you know, we can go into the talk about the predatory monetization practices of mobile games if you want to a little bit later. But when I first didn't understand how these games worked, you know, like they'd say like, oh, you really need this character to progress. And like, you can get this character right now for like, you know, a $500 pack, you know, like you spend $500, you get the chance to get like 300 character shards, and you can unlock this character and start doing like the really advanced stuff right away. And I was like, okay, like, you know, I got $500 lying around. This seems like a good deal. Like, let's give it a try. And then like I'd buy the $500 pack, and instead of getting the 300 character shards, which gives you like a max 7-star character, you get like 30. You know, you get like 30 character shards. And so you're like, oh, that sucks. And then like, you know, you buy more character packs, not for $500, but you buy more to try to, you know, get those character shards. And it took me like about, like I said, I think like 5 days to realize, okay, like this, they're playing some games here and they're making me spend money that like I really shouldn't be spending. So over the course of like 3 different mobile games since the time I first picked up Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, I'd have to say that I've spent maybe $5,000 in total over like 3 different games. So,
Okay.
and that's from like 2019.
Can I ask Blabs, Trav, and Craig, Well, and Mark, actually, have any of you guys ever been into a mobile game where you know dedicated playing a mobile game?
Well, so-
yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, there's a couple. So we actually developed a mobile game back in the day, and we had a
Who's we?
typing.
Screw Attack?
Screw Attack did. Screw Attack developed a mobile game called Texting of the Bread, which was a ripoff of an homage, if you will, of Typing of the Dead, the House of the Dead
Oh yeah,
game.
I know
So we-
exactly what you're talking about.
and it was like really, really fun. But that was prior to the free to play model really taking hold of the industry. I think we charged like $2 for it, right? And we had free DLC and all. So that was before then. But there was a mobile game that my wife and I played a ton. We never spent money on it, I don't think. It was Disney Nemu or something like that. It was these little characters that it's kind of like a Tetris puzzle game. We played the shit out of that, and we did dailies on that all the time. But that was before we had kids and stuff, and so I know my wife, she loves the Candy Crush style games and the ones with fruits that are kind of the same thing. It's puzzle oriented. She plays that all the time. So
I maxed out EA's iOS Tetris, the first one they released. I basically had it so that I got a Tetris for every single point up to the 150 line cap that was in it. So all 152 lines, I think it was, or 151 divided up all in 4 at a time. Anyways, that was one that I sunk a lot of time into. There was an not an Apex Legends. They got me with the marketing. A Titanfall kind of real-time strategy game, almost like a MOBA, League of Legends
Interesting.
style. And it's gone now because it was published by, I think, Nexon is the company. It was the company that was going to buy Respawn before EA bought them. Basically, it was the deal was like, hey, EA's thinking of making an offer on them, and Nexon might get it, and they might keep making Titanfall projects, but EA bought them, then they canceled this Titanfall Assault, I think it was called. And I played a fair amount of that. I think I even spent some money on it too, because I was like, oh yeah, this game's fun. I wouldn't mind having some better characters to use. And around the time Arcane came out, I fiddled around with League of Legends and I bought the Arcane character skin set and just for the Vi and Jinx and I think it was also Echo skins that were from the Netflix show Arcane. And you could use those skins in Wild Rift as well, which is the iOS League of Legends game. And I actually got better at the iOS League of Legends than I was at the PC one, mostly because when you're coming into League of Legends 8 years late, you're never going to be good compared to the people who are good.
right.
Apparently, some normies play on iOS, so I was kicking the shit out of them.
So
What game did you play?
So back in the day with high school and all that, there was Angry Birds. I don't know if anyone ever played Angry Birds. I've
course.
never spent a dime on these games unless you had to buy Angry Birds back in the day. You had to pay $4.99, whatever it was. There was that, and there was that maze running game where at one point you could have a skin of
Tomb
Usain
Runner?
Bolt. Yeah, you'd have to just keep running and
Oh
jump over
yeah, I
stuff.
played that too.
Yeah, so
Tomb
that game.
Tomb Runner.
And then they
Anyone
made
here
this
play
really...
Plants vs Zombies when it was out?
that was
I never
that was
played
big.
Plants vs Zombies.
No.
And that was
The Tomb
a big Facebook
Oh.
game too.
Jetpack Joyride was great.
Mhm.
I'm now once you got Tomb Raider, I'm kind of unlocking oh wait, sitting on a subway playing mobile games. That
Yeah.
that wasn't
Right.
even
Counts.
things that I counted as actual gaming time because that's just oh crap, I'm going all the way from Finch to Union. Okay, this is gonna be a while.
Right.
Glue
What
yourself
about
to
you?
the phone.
What about you, Trav? Do you ever play any mobile games?
Just the Star Trek one that I mentioned, and I have spent a little bit of money on it, but it's $20 every 2 months or something like that,
They made a Harry Potter one that's absolutely horrific. It's like Hogwarts Mystery, and all you do is tap stuff, and just by tapping and talking to classmates, you lose energy. It's so horrific that after a while I uninstalled. But I actually was dedicated to it for 6 months or something.
What
where
is
I would
this?
play every day. It was horrific. But what is this?
This
Yeah,
is the
what-
game that
what
I
is
was
this?
addicted to. This was Disney.
Get outta
Tsum Tsum.
here.
Yeah, I love this game.
Oh, is it called
This
Tums
is-
Tums or
This
something
is
like
what
that?
you were
Tsum-
addicted
I mean,
to?
Dude,
Hey man, those things are pretty cute.
look at this. So it's a puzzle game
Why?
where
Nice.
let me tell you why.
I don't.
Because-
No,
It's-
I'm good.
Oh,
Technically,
No, no,
I
no.
wanna know.
You know
I
why?
gotta know.
They're cute.
So it wasn't, it had nothing to do with the characters themselves. It had everything to do with it was all about matching up the characters in a line, right? So
Right.
as you're
Oh, is that
playing
what it
through,
It's a match 3.
it's a match 3 game, 100%. As you go through and you get different characters and different power ups. I mean, it was very, and you could spend money on this stuff, man. Like it was crazy. You spend money to buy to buy orbs and orbs to. So what you do is you'll see, if you're lining up 3 in a row, you line up a bunch of Eeyores and they collapse, and you only have 60 seconds to get as high score as you possibly can, and it tracks your combos. I mean, it's like gamification to its core, but the game never ends, and it's short bursts, really, really short bursts of gameplay. It's 60 seconds at a time. Like I saw that immediately as soon as that dropped. I was like, oh, the Mickey Mouse right here, Mickey Mouse. There's a big combo here. Yep. So and you're doing this all with your fingers, right? So you're just flying in and you do it really, really fast. I got really good at this game, but
you can
it's really
see how
fun.
happy he gets even talking about it.
Yeah, it's
Right,
true.
right.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And it's like this is the only game that really sucked me in. Yeah, you use like special powers, and each one of them has special. It was really fun, and this is the game.
What does that orb do? What does the orb do?
It clears all the ones
I'm
around
just kidding.
it. It's like,
I'm good.
oh, sorry.
It was a joke.
Don't be joking
Um,
about my former addiction. That's ridiculous.
So you were addicted to it. Interesting.
Yeah, but I didn't spend any money on it. I was addicted to playing it, not spending money on it. And I think it became. I would say it became more of a habit to me than it did an addiction. Or maybe I don't know. Maybe a habit is an addiction. Addiction is a habit. Why do I have an energy drink every day at the same time? Well, it's a habit, but am I addicted to it? I don't know. These are all.
Well, I think this is where the semantics of using the term addiction become kind of muddy, because I would not say that playing a game that gives you has no financial impact that is serious to you, and I would put people in the same blanket who spend an amount of money on a mobile game per month that they can comfortably afford, so I wouldn't say, I'm not saying blanket like, oh yeah, well, it's not an addiction because you're not spending money. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to think about when you talk about a drug addiction or like an addiction to working out or anything where someone can go and get diagnosed as an addict for it and then have to go in recovery. There needs to be a couple sort of hallmarks, and one of them is they need to start having impacts on their external life that are becoming worse and people are noticing. So if people in your life are saying, hey man, you stare at that phone playing that game a lot, like and you forgot to pick me up yesterday, like I had to take a cab home, like once you start hearing that stuff happening, it's not that means you're an addict and you need to immediately quit, but it's like maybe evaluate what your relationship with this hobby or I don't know, drink or substance is like, and like whatever it would end up being, is it causing you negative impact that people in your life are making you aware of?
Yeah,
I mean, like there are different types of players in these games that I've learned about over the years, and like so you have players like me who are basically casual players, right? Where like if I had to give these games up like tomorrow,
You're not a
and, like,
casual player.
never play them again, like I could
Sorry.
easily just like delete them off my phone and like walk away.
Could you
but, like,
really though? Because
I
that's surprising
could.
hearing that.
No,
Are you
I
sure?
could. Yeah, because
You
like
gave us
see,
4 a.m. though to play. I
You
don't-
think though,
Well,
if he's
gotta
talking about
understand
those, if there's a serious situation where there's like an ultimatum from his wife that it's like,
But-
hey,
but if
this
I can,
is
like-
destroying our marriage.
Yeah, let him
I can
finish.
kind of
though.
like finish my point.
Sorry, go
So
ahead.
like, I play these games for fun, right? It's a fun hobby for me, and in order to do them for free, you need to basically work harder than the people who are willing to pay for it, right? So when I do my dailies on these, and if it was just one game, it'd take no time at all. But I play 3 different games, and so like I used to at the end of the day kind of sit on the couch and unwind, watch TV, and play this with as my fiance was sitting there watching, and she got kind of pissed because she felt like I wasn't present with her. And so she was like, I don't want you to play these games when it's our time. And so I was like, okay, fair enough. And so before I start my day every day, I wake up and I get my dailies out of the way, because for me, it's fun. It's a way to either end my day by unwinding or start my day by having some fun. Now, for the casuals, like that's what you got to do. You have to go in, you have to like earn the currency in the game that's free in order to pay for like the upgrades you need to pay for. Then you have like the people who are like super competitive with these games, where like they want like the best characters as soon as they're released. They want to be able to like be at the top ranks of like every single like game mode in the game. And so they come in and they drop like $500 on every new character just to like max them out as quickly as possible so they can be number one on the leaderboards for like whatever game mode that you want to be number one in. And I think that's where people kind of get into trouble, is like if they're so competitive that they're spending money they can't afford just to get that dopamine high that Craig mentioned, to be like, oh, I'm the best player in this game, or like I'm number one, or I'm like in the top 10, or I'm in the top guild or whatever. That's where things can get kind of dicey with these games. And these games are specifically designed to suck as much money out of you as possible. And the reason I spend so much time playing these games every day, I'm very regimented in it. Like I have like my alarm set to remind me to log in to get my energy at certain times during the day. And I figure out the exact times to complete certain tasks in order to maximize the benefit from it. So I get the most like in-game currency from it. So I can then upgrade my characters without having to spend money. And so a lot of it's about just being like habitual, which kind of feeds into my OCD. But on the competitive side, I'm not a very competitive person. So I don't care if I'm like rank 50 as opposed to rank 20 or like rank 1. But there are people out there who care about that stuff. And they're the ones who are just dropping tons of money on this stuff. And these games, especially Marvel Strike Force, they're like the biggest kind of like villain in the story in terms of like predatory monetization. They're designed to basically create carrots and sticks, where if you don't spend money, you're going to fall behind and you have to work really hard to get to the same point that people who spend money do. And if you play a game long enough, that can mess with your head. And so like people are like, oh, I got to go in here, I got to spend at least some money. So like I do spend some money every month on these games, but it's not like something I can't afford, and it's not something that's like life ruining. Like, you talk about DSP spending thousands of dollars so that he couldn't pay rent, like that's a problem.
It is, but at the same time, you say that you're casual, right? And I understand the logic that you have, but casuals don't wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and casuals don't set alarms to check these things. Like I don't know, man. Like it sounds like I think it's a really interesting conversation to have. And you said that you could quit. You'd gladly quit them at any time. But one of the things you mentioned earlier is how you do this for the collectibles, the virtual collectible aspect. And if you were to quit and you were to remove these things from your phone, you would then lose all those collectibles. So isn't that kind of the opposite of what you're trying to achieve? And wouldn't that hurt?
Well, you got to keep in mind that collectibles are only good if you actually enjoy collecting them. And one of these days, these games are going to get shut down, right? And I'm going to lose them all anyway. I understand that. The way I look at it, Craig, I don't know if you ever played like World of Warcraft, or like I started with Ultima Online and like went to like City of Heroes and World of Warcraft and like various other like MMO games. And if you ever played those games, like you kind of understand like like, okay, my guild has a raid time, I have to show up for that raid, I have to like I have to do my role in order to beat this boss, in order to get this gear, in order to upgrade my character. And so like there's an amount of regimentation in every video game that you play. Now, I don't wake up at 4 a.m. just to play my dailies. I wake up at 4 a.m. because like I go to bed early and I'm a terrible sleeper. And so when I'm up, instead of like just staring at the ceiling quietly, I just whip out my phone and start doing my dailies. And then by the time my dailies are done, it's time for me to start my day, and I just go on about my day. So it's not like I'm waking up early in the morning just to play my mobile games. And the reason I have my alarm set is just because like like if I miss a day, like when I don't do like the stuff I'm supposed to do when my alarm goes off, it's not the end of the world. Like I can be second place in the Starship mode or something like that. It doesn't really matter. But the point is that like I'm committed to investing time and effort into this game because I enjoy doing it. It's not something that I feel compelled to do.
Can I ask you though? You mentioned your OCD, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know how much of that affects your everyday life, but this almost feels like it's giving an avenue to focus it. Do you find that having these focuses on these games actually lessens your OCD in other aspects of your life?
Well, I say OCD kind of jokingly, like I don't like wash my hands like 20 times a day or anything like that. It's just that I'm a completionist, and when I commit to something, I want to be the best I can possibly be at it. And so like when I committed to these Hero Collector games, I committed because I was like, I like this IP and I want to collect all these characters for my own personal gratification. And so you know, like it's not like something where it's an actual like medical issue that like I have to like do this. It's more like I just say it's OCD. It's mild OCD because it does run in my family, but it's mild OCD in the sense that like I just want to get as much as I can out of these games as you know over time, so that I can enjoy my collection. And by the way, my co-host Matt Bader 74 just came in here.
All right, nice.
Oh, you put me on. Hey guys, hey everybody.
Hey, how are you,
Hello.
man?
I'm good.
This is from your studio, by the way. You guys are in your studio?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're at the Salty Nerd Studio, and Matt Bader's a big gamer, and he also understands addiction. He collects Funko Pops. He collects.
Stop.
He plays some of these mobile games. He's a big Dragon Champions fan, which is a game I introduced him to.
I
The
was
studio's
listening-
looking good, by the way.
Yeah, you guys look great.
Thank you.
I was listening to you guys coming in, and you guys were touching on game addiction, and I go, oh, I can totally relate to that because I had to quit World of Warcraft as cold turkey because I think it almost cost me a divorce back in the day, for real. It was bad, man. It was bad. I was spending. Well, what happened was I had just gotten laid off from my job after 14 years, and I was like peak. Wow, it was like right. Burning Crusade, right end of vanilla, end of Burning Crusade, and I was in a really good guild, and it just got nuts. It just got absolutely nuts. You know, and it was like I went from having that job to my guild family. Basically, they made up for what I was missing at work. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was going to ask a
got,
question.
and I got completely addicted to playing that game because it gave me a weird social interaction that I needed and validation from people. But what it was I don't really know these people. It's very strange. You get attached, and people that become kind of family are disembodied voices that you've never seen before. So, but anyway, that's kind of
welcome to the age
there.
of the internet. I feel
Yeah.
the
Shout
internet
out
in
to the
general.
Technodrome, my old Destiny clan. I miss you guys. I just can't play Destiny anymore. But they're good
Yeah.
guys. Still love
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
I'll say this. This is like I feel like we need to do like a bigger conversation about this because I think this is like such a fascinating conversation to have. I would love to and we're not anywhere near where the show being done, but I just want to put this out there now. I would love to have you guys back, and I would love to do a roundtable of people who have spent money on mobile games, who feel like they've been addicted to video games at some point, and just have that larger conversation because I think it's actually a really important conversation to have nowadays. Because like I remember growing up and my mom, you're addicted to the video games, and but you hear that all the time. But there's real addiction that is being put specifically in mobile games and free to play games.
Yeah, a lot of the free to play predatory practices, like the microtransaction stuff, and you even saw this with like Diablo Immortal, like really badly. And
Yes.
that's how these games, like these mobile games, even though they may seem stupid, like they pull in billions, hundreds of millions every year. And they're some of the most profitable games on the planet. They put the AAA games to shame a lot of times in terms of like their profitability, which is why the companies keep making them. Like I said, the Star Wars game I play, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, it's the most profitable Star Wars IP, like video game that has ever been made. And if you were to go up to someone on the street and ask them if they'd ever heard of it, they'd say no. But the predatory practices that these games have and the psychological crap that they put people through, and to get them to pull out their wallet and spend money. They make it really easy to spend money, by the way. You just have to like tap the screen. But it's really bad. And I think that EA got some pushback on it when Star Wars Battlefront 2 came out, because it was like so like loot box dependent and stuff like that. But that type of stuff is tame compared to what most mobile games do.
Diablo 3 was like, that's what ruined it for me. I played it for like 2 months, and that real money influencing the game just
The
really
auction
killed
house?
it for me. Yeah, I was
Yeah, it's
done.
stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
One-
agree with that.
One encounter with it, I'm over.
Yeah, Diablo 4 is looking much better. But I also played a mobile game. I've been waiting to drop this. And I got hooked on it also. It's called Pixel Starships.
I played that. I played that game.
It's a lot of fun. And I actually was in the top clan for about a year, almost 2 years straight.
What was it called
I
again?
wo-
I'm sorry.
Pixel Starships. Now, and I ran the top clan. I was literally sitting on top, and we won every single month for 18 months in a row. And it started as a clan named Zaki, and it went to Hydra, and then we actually teamed up with a
I've seen
Chinese
this.
clan called Dragon, and it was awesome. We freaking dominated. Well, it was a fleet. They're called fleets, not clans, but it was a lot of fun. It's like a spaceship. You have to like create a balance between the power and all the different systems, and you get to choose what kind of weapons you put on your spaceship.
Management sim.
Yeah, it's a spaceship management simulator where there's PvP and PvE, and I loved it. It's a lot of fun, and I actually have my own character in the game. It's Riverwind. It's a dragon that I designed with the team. It's an Australian company. I backed one of their like their not their GoFundMe, but what's the other one? The backers thing. Indiegogo's. Yeah, no, it was a Kickstarter, and it was for a whole new revamp of the game, and they did a good job with it, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I did spend some money on it. I don't. It was under
much did you spend?
$1,000. It wasn't. It was under $1,000. I think maybe. Am I including the Kickstarter that I backed, because I did a bigger pack so I can create my own character, which was really dope. And I really enjoyed this game. I freaking put easily 2 years playing. This was like the game that I played. I didn't play console. I didn't play anything. I would sit on my iPad and play this game, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, another game just like that I almost got addicted to. I had to stop. It's Bethesda's Fallout Shelter.
I
It's
was
based
gonna
off
say,
of,
yeah,
like,
I
Fallout.
remember.
That
I
one's
played a lot
fun
of
to play.
Fallout Shelter
I
as
played
well on the
Fallout
iPad.
Shelter.
Wow.
Yeah, but like that was another one that like if I wasn't careful, I was gonna get like super into it. So I had to stop playing.
Yeah, I've watched some streamers play that recently. It looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah,
It is a
Fallout
very
Shelter's
fun
fun.
game.
Yeah, I like
It's
Yeah.
probably the best Bethesda game that's out right now.
Sadly,
Which is
sadly
funny.
true.
Yeah,
And
I've got my hopes for Starfield. I think it could
Do
end
you?
up being pretty good. Yeah, I think
I hope so.
a
too.
lot of the stuff that they were showing about the way they're approaching their dialogue system and everything is really kind of throwing back to like the Oblivion system of sort of deeper role playing and more flexibility in the actual dialogue choices. Whereas Fallout 4 was really trying to be Mass Effect in a lot of ways. You could only kind
Yeah.
of select the intention of what your character was going to say, and then your character would voice act and say something that was kind of different than what you selected.
Oh yeah, I hated that.
And it was really bad. I was like, man, I don't even need the voice acting. Just give me the full text options on the screen, which is actually really great for streaming too. Because if you're streaming in like New Vegas or something, the characters talk to you, and then you have the full text of what your character is to say, and then you can voice act it, read your character's part. So it's you as the streamer's voice who's saying what you're going to say, and then you select that reply, and the character on screen is, it's the old Bethesda straight on shot where they speak back to you. It's fun. They're sort of going back to that, and that's made me thinking, oh man, come on, Starfield, be at least okay. So yeah, I'm gonna check it out when it comes out.
So here's your Pixel Starships Kickstarter, and this is not like a wildly successful Kickstarter by any stretch. Just $20,000. That's a very small amount of money for any
Well, it's
product.
Australian too. I don't know what that actually translates to.
And I'd be interested to see kind of, this has obviously turned into a massive success, tremendous success. And if there's people playing it globally, I'd be interested to kind of see what their revenue has turned into when they kickstarted this for 20 grand. And
has anyone else here
14,000.
kickstarted video games? I've backed a few. It's nice because you get early access betas and things like that. And this one I backed called. Sorry,
I donated to Star Citizen back in the day.
Oh really? Yeah, I've still never.
Still
played
waiting
Star
for that
Citizen.
one.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
is everyone here aware of what Star Citizen is?
Vaguely.
So it's Chris Roberts who created the Wing Commander series back in the 90s. He did a Kickstarter 10 years ago now, I think, or 11, for a game called Star Citizen that's supposed to be, the big MMO version of Wing Commander, essentially, where it's this persistent universe where there's all these missions and stuff, and there's on-foot stuff in addition to space stuff. There's a campaign
no
mode
loading
that has
screens.
Mark Hamill in it. Mark Hamill was in Wing Commander 3 and 4. And it's still in early access alpha, and it has been for 10 years. And it's made a
Wow.
shitload of money. Like it's had something like $200 million, I think, put into it over the span of this
It
time.
looks pretty good.
And
Yeah, it looks great.
it does, but a lot of people think it's sort of a shell of a game with a lot of empty promises. But at the same time, I've not played it, so I can't really speak to it. But you know who actually was talking tons of shit about it was Nina Infinity's husband. He was.
Oh, really?
He was very because X-Ray Girl and I had our honeymoon in Mexico, so we hung out with Nina and her husband for a bit. But yeah, he had a lot of stuff to say about Star Citizen. So
Yeah, they keep coming out and releasing new stuff for people to buy in order to fund the game because they squandered. There's some great Kotaku articles on the background of how Chris Roberts completely mismanaged this thing. Like this game is like vaporware; it's never coming out. But they keep selling bigger and bigger ships and assets that you can use in the game.
There's people that have.
It's almost like a money laundering scheme at this point.
Yeah, some of the ships in this game that people have purchased cost as much as cars, like real cars.
Wow.
It very
Wow.
well could be a money laundering thing.
I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. I will say this much: I played Wing Commander 3 and 4 back in the mid '90s, and those games made me very happy.
Yeah, they were really good.
They not only it's not just Mark Hamill. Who's the other guy that's in it?
It's
Biff
Biff
from Back to the Future,
Ah, that's cool.
and
Wow.
Sulla from Indiana Jones or Gimli. John
Mhm.
Rhys Davies is
wow.
in it. Yeah.
Man.
And Malcolm McDowell. He's
Mhm.
I don't want to say
Big names,
he's a
man.
dubious character.
Would you
Yeah,
like
Biff plays Maniac. That's his character's name.
man, I'll tell you what, this mobile game thing I can't get past. Like I really want to have a larger conversation here. So we're gonna need to have a big mobile game roundtable and like some other time. I think that'd be good. Just to kind of get everybody back because it's very clear that literally everybody on this panel, everybody on this show, whether they wanted to or not, at some point felt addicted to a mobile game. At some point, there was something that drew them in. With Adam having his Pixel game, and we've all my stupid Disney Tsum Tsum game, right? Like we all have been drawn in some way, shape, or form. And I am so casual when it comes to mobile games, but it even bit me, So I think it's just a fascinating conversation to have. So, anyways, all right. Thank you for bringing that up, Adam. Appreciate that. Didn't know we were going to go down that rabbit hole. And Kadish, like I said, we're going to definitely continue this conversation another time for sure.
Well, and as somebody pointed out, that's how easy it is to own up to some shit.
Right. Let me read off some. No. And whatever, feel however you feel about it. I think it's great that you're saying, hey, I can afford it. I can control it. I'm good. And, you're upfront and honest about it. I think that's a very, very important thing. So,
I mean, if you think about what people spend thousands of dollars on, a lot of people like to travel. They go on vacation or whatever, instead of going to Cancun and spending $2,000-$3,000 on a vacation. I'll just spend $1,000 over the course of a year on a mobile game that I enjoy. It's all opportunity cost, right? It's all perspective. If somebody wants to spend, money going to the golfing range and they spend $1,000 a month, no one's like, oh, you're very brave for belonging to this country club and playing golf. Like, no, like they do it because they enjoy it, and the money is a trade-off for that enjoyment. So I don't
That's-
see it as
that's
Sounds
why
like
I
you're convincing yourself here, Matt. I'm just saying.
That's why I said
It's
earlier.
good. I've got it under control, guys. I've got it
I
under
don't-
control.
I don't begrudge you the money. If you got it to spend and that makes you happy, whatever, it's your money.
Well, I hope you didn't take any offense to me saying that it was brave of you to say that, because like I said, I think it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I spend that money, yeah, I can afford it, and yeah, I can stop at any time.
Do you think that your wife would prefer to go to Cancun?
yeah, she definitely would.
You can
Okay.
visit Nina
Just
Infinity
curious.
and her husband and talk shit about Star Citizen there. I can tell you that.
There you go.
I mean, my wife wants to live at Harry Potter World in LA. Like
Well,
that's
who
like
doesn't?
her
Cool.
dream. So
Blabs'
like, she's a
eyes
huge
are
Harry
like,
Potter
oh.
X-Ray Girl's like, do you need
She
the
spends
mystery?
more money on Harry Potter
Blabs,
stuff than I spend
sorry,
on
no,
mobile
Harry
games.
Potter.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, let me go through and read some super chats and bits that came in. GF Raptor fan says that born, bred, and currently living in Toronto. Just saying, yes, indeed. Goes back to that Toronto conversation an hour ago. Trucker Rob came in with 100 bits. Says, "Happy birthday, Mark! Is it your birthday?"
It's always my birthday on other people's channels.
All right, I love it. Well, that's good because Adam was going to sing you a birthday song.
Oh, okay. Well,
Is the key word
Oh,
in that.
Lost out.
Was.
Nautical Man gifted a membership to Torvis Bog. Torvis makes you say thank you. I'm sure you already did. Art Legion says, so DSP couldn't offer evidence. I was back to the DSP conversation. Evidence about what he was been spinning on by sending a simple screenshot to Craig, but somehow he's got evidence on Craig and Adam. Yes.
Right.
True.
Sure.
Wicked Virtue came in with the giant super sticker. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Orxy
Lovely.
came in with the super chat. Says, would you guys ever consider having Pro Jared on as a guest or an interview style? I think that would be interesting. That would be very interesting considering our past. He worked for Screw Attack. I had to fire him, and that's pretty much the history there.
He wouldn't agree to do it.
There's no way.
Is that
There's
the
no
guy
way.
that sat on the left side of the camera?
Yeah.
Yes.
The guy who was like, "Oh, dude, it's terrible. You're
And
horrible.
then he did it worse.
Why are you
Yeah.
trying to sell testicles to Africa? You're a horrible person."
Yeah.
That guy? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that guy.
All right.
photo of him has
Winterfell.
made it very difficult to look at Sailor Mars the same way.
I get it. I get your reference. Winterfell came in with the $4.99 super chat. Says, Matt, what is your galactic power? That's for Kadish.
It's in the millions.
Oh, we know.
I,
In the
you know
millions.
what? I'll look it up for you. Okay, give me 1 second.
Can you send me a screenshot of your galactic power? Just me, and I'll vouch
Just
for
your
you.
username.
Yeah, I'm gonna need your phone number. So
Sounds good. Dude came in with the $20 super chat. Thank you so much, dude. He says, I played one mobile game for the past couple of years, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. It's a champion
Brave.
collector. And I just like collecting the characters I've grown up to love over the series. Never spent a dime though. Okay.
Yeah, it has a lot of crossover events with a lot of other franchises too. So they'll have you can get 2B from Nier Automata today, or things like that.
right. So
Lots of
Craig,
crossovers with the different Final Fantasies.
my galactic power in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes is 6.62 million.
Jesus.
Is that a lot?
Damn,
Yeah.
you're a powerful Radiolarian levels are amazing. I don't know. Is that
Nailed
how
it.
it works?
Metachlorian, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. What the hell did I say?
Lewis Malley came in as a brand new member. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate that. Backyard TARDIS says, Kadish is one of the few people who have made the mobile game pay him as he's gotten them as a sponsor. Is this true?
This is true.
Nice.
There you
Dragon
go.
Champions, one of Vader and Maya's favorite mobile games, has been one of our primary sponsors for the Salty Nerd podcast for a couple years now. And so, like, any money I sunk into that game has come back to me like tenfold. So
Awesome.
There you go.
Nice. So you're up.
Way to be.
On
Nice.
that
Way to
game.
go.
Playing
Yes.
it right now.
yeah, Vader's
Uh,
actually doing his Dragon Champs dailies right now as he's on here.
All right. Hey, don't show your screenshot. You might endanger your family.
Oh my gosh.
Adam
Just
Yeah,
about
your
maybe
detractors are going to come after you, Vader.
Oh,
Yeah, look out.
Adam came in with the $4.99 super chat. Says, considering getting a tattoo today, what should I get? Adam, I think you should get a side scrollers tattoo right on your
Left butt
forehead.
cheek.
Your forehead.
no, don't do the forehead. Don't do that. I think you tramp stamp side scrollers tattoo. right on your lower back.
Side
Now,
on left side, right on the other side. Side scrollers.
I'll say this: don't get a tattoo today.
Beat
Don't
your
do it.
demons across your chest.
No regrets.
Yeah, no regrets.
Beat your demons. I love it. I love it. Evan came in with the $69.99 super chat. That is insane,
Nice.
Evan. Thank you so much. Says, I used to play the Dr. Mario mobile game and got really good competitively. But like anything online, support for it ended, and now I can't play that gym anymore. That experience in mobile removing songs I had paid to have from iTunes made me go physical. Well, yeah, you've seen that a lot, actually. I've talked about how my brother has been banned from Bandcamp, and all the people who bought his music have been well, they're out. They're out their money, and they don't get their digital items and their music anymore, which is crazy. So, Evan, thank you so much for the support.
Your brother dropped a banger of a tweet yesterday. I was
Mhm.
like, damn, I can't even read it. I can't read it. It's way too political.
And we'd
on
probably
point.
get banned on YouTube for reading it,
Mwah.
which is
But
insane.
it is just mwah.
Yeah.
So shout out to 5 times August.
Backyard TARDIS says, so back when I had my addiction, small bubbles games, Iowa spending about $300 a month, but the whales in my guild were spending $3,000 a week. Whoa, that's insane. Once again, Side Scrollers
crypto
mobile
money.
game coming soon. Yeah. Max came in with the $10 super chats. It's interesting hearing about mobile game addiction, especially after your previous interview. Question for your guest: is it the act of collecting or the daily ritual that brings you joy? Max, great question.
It's the act of collecting. Like the daily ritual is part of getting to the point where you can collect stuff, because you need to spend your energy to get gear and upgradable materials and stuff like that in order to not only unlock these characters but also max them out, because you have these various different levels. You have like star level, you have character level, and you have gear level. So like each character has 3 different like types of levels that you have to max out. And if you don't log in every day at the appropriate times and get the energy and do the dailies and stuff like that, you might as well not even play the game, because it would take forever to upgrade these characters and collect them. Or you could just spend the money and shortcut it. But I don't find that enjoyable. I find the act of playing the game enjoyable, which is why I do it.
I
Can
find it
I ask-
nefarious.
Can I ask everybody a
Nefarious
question?
gaming. Ridiculous.
Oh, Vader, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just said I find it the whole practice nefarious. I was giving him a hard time because it's just evil. It's like you either got to do all these things or just don't even bother logging in or spend money.
Well,
Right.
Vader, like you've played these games and,
Yeah.
and you've like just gotten bored with them and stopped,
Yeah.
but you never spend any money on them.
Yeah, not very little.
Yeah.
Unless there's a little challenge or achievement. Spend $5 on this and you get an achievement level. It's like, oh no,
What?
That's not cool.
Is there really that's an
Yeah, that's
achievement
real.
in the game?
Yeah.
So it truly is pay to win. Like truly, it's like pay to get your
it's
achievement.
Literally just for the achievement. Here, spend $5. We'll give you this little flag.
That's soft, man. That's some
The
bullshit.
achievement's
People
called
like this guy
members
over
only
here.
or something.
Who's a completionist? if that one achievement was sitting there staring him in his face, said you need to get this $5 achievement, and he's gonna buy it. So
Yeah.
people that'll do it.
Well, I'll tell you what, you also can get an achievement by going to patreon.com/sidescrollers and supporting the show there. or simply just giving a thumbs up to this episode. Right now, we got a bunch of folks watching. If everybody would hit a thumbs up on YouTube, I'd greatly appreciate it. I think this is an important conversation and a really good conversation to have. And I'm glad we got here. So I hope this show reaches a lot of folks, and I'm going to change the title and the thumbnail and all that stuff. Max says become a brand new member and gifted 5 memberships to the channel. Thank you so much, Max. Greatly appreciate it after that super chat. TJ Gamebox said he would love to come on to talk about. He's a WWE Champions guy, so he would actually love to come on and talk about in the mobile game segment. Infidel Castro came in with his $7 super chat. Says, "Stop! It's a waste of time and money. More of a waste than this super chat."
That name is great, by the way.
Thank you, Infidel Castro. Winterfell came in and says, my galactic power is bigger than yours.
Them's be fighting
That's not
words.
surprising. That's not
That's
surprising. There are a lot of people out there
sexual.
way bigger than I am.
What's up? What's up? Big Top came in and says, I have no time for mobile games and games in general. I'm too busy playing a game called Life, but wish I had time to play games. And also, hey, yo. Thank you so much, Big Top. Appreciate
Yo.
that. And Metastep says,
Morgan
hey, yo.
Freeman.
God, that freaks me out every time, man.
Metastep says, and I thought I was bad for buying a Destiny DLC. Adam posted a video of how to get more enhancement cores in Discord. You're welcome. Thank you, Metastep.
I knew that like 2 years ago, Metastep, but thanks. You're catching up.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
What's
Barnett
crazy is
says,
I probably have 1,000 hours in the Destiny series, and I don't even know what enhancement cores are, and just because I haven't played them for a couple of years. I probably changed all of the stuff.
love it.
So I got a question. All the games that you guys have all played, mobile games, was there for winning? If you ever got like top 10 or top 5, was there ever any prize for winning?
You know,
Oh yeah.
I personally never cared in the
have-
ones I played. I was
never
never a
played those kind of
leaderboard
games.
chaser. I'm not even now. Like I've never been the type to be like, oh, I mean, I need to be the #1 ranked King of Fighters 13 player in Western Canada or something like that.
So
or I guess Central Canada. But
they actually sent the winners of I think it was 2019. All the winners, everyone in my fleet. So it was 100 people. So they sent out 100 hats. This is a limited Pixel Starships hat that you had to win to get. And then we actually got the item in game as well. You got a Pixel Starship hat
that's
that you
that's
put
cool.
on your character.
A little
And
skin.
yeah, I don't wear it. It sits on my shelf. And it used to sit behind me, but yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
Nice.
I
Got something out
I
of it.
may or may not have just actually downloaded that game.
Hey,
It's pretty good.
Blake came in and said, I'm addicted to Craig reading my super chats in his sexy voice. In my sexy voice. Sorry. And I can't believe
Craig,
I'm actually.
Craig,
I-
you
I-
don't need it. You don't need a filter.
Oh,
all right?
thanks.
You're gravy, baby.
I can't even believe I'm going to read this off. This is crazy. Trident gifted 50 memberships to the channel.
Way to be.
Wow.
Hold on, I got to do that again because it was drowned out.
No
Thank
joke,
you
straight
very
up.
much.
Wow.
Wait, who was that? Who just did that?
Trident 8.
Tried
Wow.
it. Holy crap, dude.
that's
Membership
insane.
bomb. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
That's the most we've
huge.
ever had.
Yeah.
That's
Cheers.
insane. Yeah, no joke. Thank you very much. That's
Hey,
insane.
Wow.
Craig, can I ask you a quick question?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Yes, of course.
Do you think that there's any difference between people who drop super chats on YouTubers and people who drop money on mobile games?
That's a really good question. Really good question. And I would say, I think that I think the idea is actually very similar, right? The idea that you enjoy something, you want to support it, right? So I think the idea behind it is very similar. I think it really depends on what you get back in return, right? I think that for a viewer, if they see a super chat being reinvested into the content, just similar to a mobile game, I think then it can be justified either way. I think that ultimately people can choose to support the entertainment that they feel they want to. In a case like 50 amazing memberships, like holy moly, that's insane. Like I said, never even.
Can I
thought about
show
that.
you really quickly what our YouTube community and podcast community got us through their support? This is our new
Yes.
studio.
Yeah,
This is-
it's fresh. I remember
this
your
is-
old studio. This is looking
Yeah.
Nice.
This is looking nice, dude.
Yeah, so like our old studio, we did it in my dining room.
Yeah.
and
It really was.
we were using like cell phone cameras and stuff like that, but through the support of our YouTube community, like people who come to our live streams, give us super chats, sponsors who reached out to us and paid us to like promote them and stuff like that, we've been able to basically go from like this piddly little podcast that was started off in our host's kitchen, and now we have like a full professional Las Vegas YouTube and podcasting studio. So
It's amazing.
Yeah,
That's really
it's,
nice.
Well, that's what I was going to say to your question. I think the difference between donating on a stream and a mobile game is you can see the effect of your donation in front of your eyes.
Yeah, like
Whereas,
we reinvest everything we
Right.
make back into the podcast.
Well,
Right,
and
and
you're
it's a
you're
community.
supporting individuals,
Right.
like people who donate to us on our show and gift memberships. They're directly helping us as the creator, whereas donating to a company is helping their profit margins. It's not necessarily they can choose to
Mhm.
reinvest it. Star Citizen, was it called? Is that Star? What was that one game? I
Star
mean,
Citizen,
they're
yeah.
right. We see these examples of these companies going, "Thanks for your monies. Give us more monies. Here's
Right.
another carrot on the end of my stick. Ha ha ha. Keep collecting. Sign in every day. Sign in every day. Give me your money." It's just kind of
Author.
like, there. Yeah, there's. I think that's the major difference. These corporations really don't give a shit. They want that predatory monetary system in place to get people to play their games over and over and over again. Whereas like people who donate to us, I mean, you can get addicted to us. I'm okay with it, actually.
That was the Chihuahua.
How do we? Yeah, sure it was.
Well,
Mark.
I
I
mean,
paid
look,
him to do that.
straight up. I mean, that's the goal of side scrollers. Is we're consistently here every
Get
day.
people addicted.
Well, no, but
Yes.
we want
Yes.
we want to be a part of their lives, and we want them to be a
The
part of our
addiction.
lives, right? Like that's the whole goal of this is to provide a place where people can hang out every day. They can be around people who are not batshit insane, right?
Oh, I gotta
And-
go then.
Yeah, time to go, Mark. But that's the whole premise of the show is to give people a place for sanity and good conversation. And I think to push home what Travis said, I think the idea that you see, I don't know, I think there's the difference in that when you purchase something in a mobile game, you don't see somebody go, "Whoa, that's insane. Thank you so much." But it goes back to putting everything back into to the community, which you guys obviously have at Salty Nerd, which is amazing.
Well,
And,
and I doubt that even when these companies make that money, that the regular employees even if they do great for the year or whatever, I doubt they get bonuses as normal employees. You know what I mean? So even if you wanted to help normal employees of a game business, you probably ain't going to.
right. Evan came in with the with the 279 super chat. Says, "I'm addicted."
Aw.
Thank you, Evan. Appreciate that. If you're going to be addicted to something, do your best not to kick your side scrollers addiction. I'd appreciate that. J Rome came in with the 500 bits. Says puppies. First
Yeah.
failed. There you go. Loving those.
Rocky.
What's your puppy's name? Rocky, you said?
This is Rocky, yeah.
Adorable.
Named after both Rocky Raccoon, the Beatles song, because he's got kind of raccoon coloring, and and Rocky the Boxer because his daddy's Italian. Isn't that right, Rocky?
There you go. Love that. Can't
He's
go wrong
so
with dogs.
cute.
Yeah,
Look at
he's
his
adorable.
belly.
Yeah, no,
Um,
he's got a very cute belly.
Hey, we can't show that wiener on stream. Sorry.
Really?
No,
Oh,
no, I'm
he's
totally
a
kidding.
chihuahua.
It's easy, it's easy.
He's like, wait, what?
Can't
Have
show
you guys seen
dog
Puss in
dingus.
Boots: The Last Wish?
No.
Oh god,
I-
put that on. No joke. It'll sound like a ridiculous thing to suggest someone watch. I don't care if you don't like computer animated family films. Watch Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. It is a genuinely great movie.
I hear
That's
good
kind
things.
of
I also have heard good things.
Random.
My
Yeah.
kids loved it. Does it have dog dingus in it?
Well, no, there's a Chihuahua
Yeah.
who
Is that the
He-
tie-in?
he tries to be a good luck charm to everybody by letting people rub his tummy. He's really cute.
Okay.
Oh,
Melee Game says, "I would rather super chat to buy a creator a hat than own a virtual hat in some game." Yeah, I think I said to each their own. I totally understand it for sure.
What if
Okay,
you get
awesome.
a real world version of it for winning the
Yay.
year championship? Sorry, it
I love it.
was a good year.
Well, look, we've got an hour and 40 minutes, and we didn't even touch the news that we were gonna
Tomorrow
touch today.
we'll
Sorry
do it.
about
We'll
that.
do it another day.
Can I
was a
show
good
you
day.
guys? Can I show you guys one thing that I want to show you before we go? That I was hoping to talk about. Hey, it's K Meister says. DSP revealed his cat for $1,000. That's right.
No way.
I'm giving it away for
I thought it
free
was
over here.
2,000, but
It was
However
$1,000. Then
much.
somebody came in with $1,000 donation afterwards. So they say it was
Oh, okay.
So this is insane. This is the most insane thing I've seen today. I just wanted to share this with you guys. This is a Little Caesars pizza. I think this has not been confirmed, but I think that this is an April Fool's joke just a little early. And if it is, they've done it right and they've released it early. The brand new pizza from Little Caesars featuring corn on the cob crust.
Oh my god, that's disgusting.
That looks
Ew.
delicious.
Oh,
Take it
that's
away.
terrible.
No.
I love
no,
corn on the
no.
cob.
I
Here
don't go
I
a
am.
week without thinking of divorcing my wife for how she likes pineapple on pizza. I don't know what I'd do about that.
Pineapple
this.
on pizza
Oh
is
my
delicious.
God.
That's awesome.
That is disgusting.
Here I am wondering
This
what
can't be
state
real.
that
No.
anybody would like that
That's
in.
butter.
With
You
2
dip that in
liters of
butter?
liquefied butter, of course it's a joke.
Will you guys just stop calling these things pizza?
Yeah, that's
That's the
not
only part that
pizza.
bothers me. Just be like, if
It's
you
a
said
2
corn
liter of
flatbread,
butter.
I'd be like, okay.
How does anyone think this is real? Come on.
With,
Because it's
with
Little
butter.
Caesars.
They have a
Yeah.
2 liter of butter and then butter squares on each little.
I'm disturbed.
It
What-
was
what
designed. Whoever came up with this is a fucking genius.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because look at this. We're discussing this. It's
Yes.
obviously not real. A 2 liter
I
bottle
mean-
of butter. Like, come on, guys.
Wait,
Yo,
This isn't
you
real.
guys remember
Wait,
when
What
It
have
says it
you
on the
seen
bottom
of
of the
American
screen.
fast food advertisements that's made you think anything is off the table?
Well,
as far
you
as how
guys remember
disgusting it is.
when
It's a
Kentucky Fried
hypothetical on the
Chicken?
Yes.
screen.
Yes.
You guys
they- with
remember
the
when
Double
Kentucky
Down?
Fried Chicken released their own gaming console that was also a deep fryer?
Oh no! I was
Yeah,
talking
it
about
was-
the double down sandwich.
No. This is a real thing. Like
Yeah.
KFC released commercials for this thing. It's an actual gaming console that you can play video games on, but
Yeah.
it's got a warmer in it that can like heat up your chicken while you're gaming.
It's a PC that has a little chicken slot in it that you can
Look-
keep your chicken warm.
Adam,
That's
How many did they sell?
Probably not. I
don't
think
really think it
it,
was
I think it
for sale,
was a
but it was
meme,
out
but then
there.
so many people wanted it that they actually like. I believe there was a custom PC building company, someone like Meta or to that effect, who actually kind of got it going. And
But
I
there-
don't know if
there's
they ever
out there
released
on
it, though. I
YouTube
can't
for this
confirm
thing,
that.
and it looks slick. It looks
That's
really
what
slick.
happened with the double down, that sandwich that's like 2 chicken patties
jeez.
or whatever.
yeah, that was it.
Oh, I
Console.
saw this. I do remember
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
big thing on Twitter. But
That's ridiculous.
have you guys ever heard of the Soldier Boy console?
of course.
Yeah, that was a good little meme too.
By the way, I just want to point out, right? Like, if you think that this is not possible, allow me to present you with this, friend. Like, like the
Well,
fact that
and-
this exists.
Oh, that
They
looks too
made that. That was originally a April Fool's joke, but so many people wanted it, they demanded it, going
So
to
what?
the stores that they made it.
Two fried breaded chicken sandwiches with like the regular stuff in the middle.
Mhm.
It just looks like bacon and cheese on it.
So the
That looks fucking awesome. Like,
That's
Who
why.
would-
That's why
who
they
would
had
This
to
is
want
make
made
that.
for Adam.
I'm sure there
That
are people in
looks
Nebraska
slamming
who
good.
thought the Little Caesars corn pizza looked pretty awesome.
right.
I'm not shit talking you,
Yeah, we're going
Nebraska.
to Little
either.
Caesars.
You
Corn
just
is
called it a
wonderful
pizza.
product.
you just called it a pizza.
No, they called it a pizza.
You
I-
just called it a pizza too. I just
No,
clarified.
but that's
I'm
what
bringing,
they're calling it, and that's
holding
why
up
it
a mirror,
angers
dog.
me. But
holding up a mirror.
no, I'm
Mhm.
okay. I was the one who named the
Got
thing.
I got him.
Listen,
Here's a little YouTube
Cotton
trivia.
4K.
I'm
Joe
punching my
Beretta
button.
from Bo Rats and Beretta was in the Double Down commercial, actually.
oh, okay.
I don't know what that means.
Don't even know who that is. Yeah, but it sounds good. All I care about is he in the Little Caesars corn cob crust commercial? So, but
What
apparently
do they
not.
do? Put corn inside the crust too, or something? Ugh.
I don't know.
See,
man.
that
This
would
is-
be more edible than the cob. How are you going to eat the cob?
You
I-
pick
Why
it
would
up.
you put corn in your pizza?
I imagine the intention is not that you full blown eat the cob the way you would a pizza crust.
You know,
You
snack.
probably pick up that part and eat it the way more normal humans eat corn on the cob. And
Mark, listen. People are stupid, all right, and they will try, and they will probably sue them
So, yes.
It's on
because how
suffocation
dare
or
they
something.
not take the core out of the pizza corn crust thing?
Should be filled with cheese, fuckers.
this is why I have puppies. I don't understand you humans.
Make
This
it
is
go
why I
away,
have
Craig. Why do
puppies.
you keep bringing this
I-
back?
I want that 2 liter of butter. That's what I
It'll
want.
hurt.
No, you don't. No, you
Right.
don't. That's
Oh my
terrible.
All I'll
God.
say is this: when Skynet rises, the corn cob pizza Little Caesars person will not be spared.
Hey, it's just what a
guys are
fascinating.
Except for
I,
Blab. Sorry, Blabs.
Blab.
I don't know. You live up in the mountains or something. Like we
Yeah,
can't
not
have
in
you.
Guam.
We
She's
can't have
actually
you in
in a
our
cave
cyborg
right now.
utopia.
It's furnished though, so you can't really see that it's a cave.
Yeah.
But
Red Sings
The
the Blue
mountains.
says donation for the podcast. Love the topics. Love to get side scrollers on an interview on my podcast. P.S. Hey Adam.
what's up, Red?
Hey, I'm gonna be sending out a tweet about how you guys can have me in particular on your show. I think if you want to have Blabs or Adam or Trav or anybody on the show, by all means, reach out to them. And
I've been
will
on Red's
gladly-
show.
Yeah, great.
Yep.
Would love that. Backyard TARDIS came in, says corn cross pizza sounds awesome, but
No.
still not as good as orange chicken pizza. Ooh, that's actually sounds.
My man.
Dude,
Why?
that sounds good.
Never
Yeah.
had that.
Backyard TARDIS, let's go represent. Blake says our donations go to the country of Guam.
Only
Yeah.
a portion. Only a portion.
Guamonians. GK says corn pizza or pineapple.
Corn. All the
Both.
way.
None.
I want chaos. Put them both on there.
Both are
You
blessed.
disgust
Watch
me,
the
Adam.
That's
watch
going
the
too far,
internet
Adam.
burn down.
Going too far.
Disgust me.
Oh, that's great. Orksy came in and says, but yeah, if you guys get Pro Jared on, it would be amazing. We'd love to see Craigie and Pro Jared talk about the old Screw Tech days and experiences. It will be taken into consideration. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And Basil came in with the $10 direct donation.
Basil.
No message. Basil, my boy. Pleasure to see you, son.
Yeah, nice to see you here, Basil.
Hey, let's go. Pixel Game Squad coming in. Says Craig is sexy, to be honest. Hey, you got a bunch of sexy folks on here today. You know?
I'm serious though. You might want to go get your eyes checked.
Don't talk to Riff like that. Don't talk to Riff
What?
like that. Don't
I'm
talk
trying
to
to
Riff.
help. I'm trying to help them. They clearly need their eyes checked.
Riff, I need to reach out to you. By the way, Riff is an outstanding. He produces a lot of great stuff on his channel. And
okay.
and I'll say this: he had a water main break in his recording
Oh.
place. Yeah, it was tough, man. So I was meaning to reach
That
out to you
sucks.
about that. That's crazy.
That's
Jerry D says a good group dynamic, interesting and fun topics. Friends conversing. Good stuff, guys. Take notes, DSP, or just stay in your safe space, whatever.
I don't
Thanks,
care.
Jerry.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Yeah, man, this is a really good conversation today. Really, really fun. And I would love to continue. So like I said, I want to get
Ooh.
oh, yes, I'm sorry. What?
I just saw that on the next super chat.
I was just going to ask, what is that? I've never even heard of that before.
Sounds awesome.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Metastep says we have crab rangoon pizza at a local pizzeria, and it's amazing.
Yeah. What's a
That sounds
Rangoon?
slamming. I would
What is-
absolutely try that.
What's the oddest pizza everybody has had before? Travis, we'll start with you when we'll work our way around in a circle.
I guess it depends on your opinion, where you're from, right?
What you think?
Mhm.
I don't know. Barbecue jalapeno chicken pizza. Barbecue chicken jalapeno.
Welcome
That's
to
the weirdest
Texas.
one.
Yeah.
No. Oh no, I thought you meant the strangest one. That's the strangest one.
What's the
The-
difference between strange and weird?
Yeah.
I thought you
Look
said
at his
good as-
collection
My
of
bad.
things, dude. He said
Yeah,
the
that's
strangest things he collected. What was it? It was coins. Like really? That was
Keychain-
strange.
Yeah, the coins is the weirdest
After the
thing.
wallets, after the china, like
The keychains.
can't really trust this guy with knowing what
Labs?
weird is.
So I'm Italian, so I've never really had weird shit on my pizza. So
Or
I
you
got
lose
nothing.
your Italianness, right? I think that's how it works.
Like I refuse to ever try pineapple on pizza. I will literally jump off something before I ever do that. So I'm
Doesn't
normal.
belong on there.
I didn't know you were Italian, Blabs. You will be spared now.
Grazie.
I think the
Oh
craziest
God, am I an
pizza I ever
Italian
had was
supremacist?
What's that, Kadish?
I said I think the craziest pizza I ever had was a Dungeness crab pizza where you had like the sauce, you had a layer of pulled
Mm.
Dungeness crab, then you had like the cheese on top, and
Oh.
it was basically just like eating like a cheesy crab cake. I guess it was
Mm.
very strange, and I didn't enjoy it, even though I like all the ingredients.
The dog didn't like it
I
either.
didn't like
The
it.
dog, no, the dog wants it. and
I
He's
thought
like,
that was
"Mm,
Craig
nah."
error, like 0.99 or something.
No, it's just
Mark,
Jojo
Mark,
being
can you
cranky.
please stop making those noises?
Mm. That's what I sound like when I do them. Now you know.
Mark,
Sure.
what's your oddest pizza?
I don't like odd pizzas, so it would probably be something akin to the jalapeno chicken barbecue sauce pizza. I probably
You
only
guys are
ate it because
weird.
I was drunk.
Right.
I'm really a very simple cheese and pepperoni kind
I'm a
of
simple
guy.
man.
And maybe
Same
throw
thing.
some oregano on there.
God,
Chocolate,
man.
not garlic. Sorry, not
Sorry.
chocolate. Jeez, what am I? My brain is broken. Garlic or spices and seasonings and stuff. Maybe sprinkle a bit of hot sauce on afterwards to give a little kick. But other than that, I don't know. I keep it pretty simple with pizza.
You
Adam?
guys want to hear a truly strange thing to eat?
Sure, fire
So
away.
out here in Las Vegas, we have a restaurant called Bizarre Meats,
Oh, geez.
and they have like very off the wall menu. And I went there one time with my fiance.
Is he gonna
And for
say crack
dessert-
balls?
For dessert,
sorry.
we had foie gras s'mores.
Oh, that
What?
sounds weird. Foie
Yeah.
gras is goose liver.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Gross.
They were delicious. They were really freaking good.
S'more, so it'd be sweet and salty, right?
Yeah.
Adam, weirdest pizza.
When I lived in New York, there was a pizza place called Two Boots. I don't know if anyone knows about what Two Boots is. Two Boots would come up with new pizzas every so often, and they featured this one called the Bayou Beast. And boy, did I love this Bayou Beast. It had crawdads, it had shrimp, and what was the third meat that was on it? I don't remember, but it was like another crustacean kind of vibe, and I think it was barbecue. I don't remember exactly what it was, but holy shit, it was weird. And I tried it once, and I loved it. It was Is it crawfish? Crawfish and crawdads are the same thing. AWP.
Yep.
And is this the Bayou Beast? And sausage. Okay, it was just sausage then. All right,
And Dewey sausage, probably.
it was so
Or gator
good.
sausage.
This shit was fire. I loved that shit, man. Oh my god, that pizza was so good. I would go out of my
really want
way
pizza
to go
now.
to Two Boots. They were sporadic throughout the city, but damn, that shit was.
Maybe I'm just a basic bitch.
You
What
are a
about you,
basic
Craig?
bitch.
I want to point out Adam said something weird. He said crustacean instead of crustacean. Isn't it just crustacean?
Huh?
We're not-
Crustacean.
We're not
Maybe
getting
that's
into this
just an
dialect thing.
accent.
We're not doing this today.
We don't have
She's
another
so-
hour,
she's
guys.
so
I almost derailed
triggered.
the entire show by speaking Canadian to you guys, and that's not even an actual language.
Hey,
Blabs is triggered by figures, but anyway, Craig, craziest weird pizza.
When I was in Australia, I had kangaroo on a pizza, and that was. I will say this: I had kangaroo multiple times, and I was there, and it tastes like shit.
Oh, really?
Kangaroo,
Is it
kangaroo
like
does not.
gamey like deer? Or?
It's tough. It's gross. It's not easy to eat. The weirdest meats I've ever had were kangaroo and seal. I have had
You
seal
can hunt
before.
kangaroo
Ugh.
without
I've
tags
had
in Australia.
I've
too.
gator before. That was
Gator.
good. Tastes like
Gators. That's like
Yeah,
that's like
you
an
had
everyday
the
thing here.
options of trying kangaroo and gator, and I was like, I feel bad for the beautiful kangaroos, but I freaking hate the gators. They need to die. I'll eat those.
It's already dead.
These kangaroos
Yeah,
are shredded.
Yeah, but I
Have
hate
you
them
seen some-
anyway. They're only good for like
They
leather
are.
belts and boots
They're
and stuff.
swole.
Yeah.
Has
Every
anyone
year.
ever had turtle soup?
No, I have a turtle. I'll never do that.
That
It's
sounds
pretty good.
horrible.
Every year on
Oh, Lord.
Christmas, I order bison, elk, deer, and there's one other one, jerky, and they're all pretty good.
I love dogs more than anything in the world. So X-Ray Girl's like, if we ever go to Vietnam, I'm gonna have to be very careful about where we take you to eat. I'm like, oh my god. I was like, I think I might never be able to go there, honey. I'm sorry.
I also had pony. I had pony while I was in Japan.
Oh god.
Yeah, that was also very weird. So pony's probably the third weirdest thing. Kangaroo,
Was it
seal,
on
and pony.
pizza? We're talking about pizza here.
Pony
No,
on a
we're,
pizza.
we're just talking
I
meat.
think
We're just
I
talking
think
meat.
we're just talking about meats in
Okay.
general.
Pony
Vader-
seems like it would be real tough.
Vader, how's your daily going there, buddy?
Oh yeah, I'm.
Oh,
I don't think it's the weirdest
yeah.
pizza I ever ate, but
He's already in the top fleet in Pixel Starships.
That's right.
yeah,
Been grinding it out.
I have been playing King of
The
Fighters.
problem
on
I
it, though.
have with pizza these days
There
is
we go.
people just throw stuff on the crust and they call it pizza. You know, it's weird. So I don't know what qualifies for a pizza, but I had one time I went to this restaurant and I don't remember the name of it. It was here in Vegas, and they gave us this thing called sushi pizza, basically.
Oh.
And it was just raw fish on top of a crust. It was kinda
Ah,
gross.
Yeah, that don't
they do
sound
anything
good.
nowadays.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. With eel sauce and a bunch of weird
Ugh.
stuff on. It's like, ugh. It's like
Very
okay,
contradictory to
right.
what pizza is. Yeah, for
they'd
sure.
have to pay me to come eat there.
J Rome came in with a 500 bits. Thank you so much, J Rome. Says I had pizza with al pastor / trumpo pork meat, pineapple, cilantro, onions, served with a side of limes to be squeezed and salsa verde. That sounds delicious.
Yeah,
Sounds
that actually does
amazing.
sound
J
pretty
Rome.
good.
See, I won't even
I'm really
eat
hungry
certain.
now.
I won't even eat certain pizzas if the sauce is too sweet, let alone adding pineapple to it. That freaks me out.
Oh man, pineapple on pizza. I don't get it. I don't get it. That's just
No.
some stupid internet meme.
guys
Back at
just
Charter
don't
says, remember, Craig, it's not a Mexican or a pizza. That's an old reference, so a long time ago. Well, thank you so much. It is. All right, I'll tell you what. That's a great place to wrap is pizza talk. But
Yeah.
before we head out, I do want to remind everybody once again. Tomorrow is the last day to pick up the Side Scrollers Beat Your Demons T-shirt. So make sure you guys go and pick that up. The link is down below in the description. It'll only be available through tomorrow. And real quick, if everybody would please head over and subscribe to the Salty Nerd Podcast channel as well as Mark the Cyborg's channel. And they're both obviously great. I look forward to having Vader and Kadish back on so we can go through this mobile game insanity a little bit more and learn more about the malpractice, the devious practices, I believe what you guys said. I think it's a really interesting and definitely a bigger conversation. So
I'm getting the links up in the chat now for their channel.
excellent. And also do us a favor, hit the thumbs up button before we get out of here. We are going to be heading over to Patreon for a post show. So if you guys are not, I would love for one person to come over and become a new patron tonight today. We have 227. I would love for you to be 228. So if you guys would love to come over and join us over at patreon.com/sidescrollers, I would greatly appreciate it. The post show will be going live in just a second. I'll get that up. But in the meantime, I'm going to where am I? There we go. Got to get some tunes going on. But Mark, is there anything you want to say before we wrap up?
I don't know, nothing specific. I guess I stream pretty frequently on my channel, Mark the Cyborg. I'm on EFAP sometimes with Mauler, and I'm going to be on the episode for Resident Evil 4 Remake, which is launching tonight at midnight Eastern time. So that's probably what I'm going to be working on for the next few days. That episode will be April 8th on Mauler's channel, and he's made it a requirement that every member of the panel beat the game on the highest difficulty. So if I'm not there, it means that I game journalisted right out of the running. So wish me luck, everybody.
Kadish, fill everybody in.
Yeah, so me and Vader here, we live stream every Saturday morning and Tuesday afternoon on our channel, the Salty Nerd Podcast. You can go there at saltynerdvideo.com, takes you right to our YouTube channel. And we're also on the audio end of things on Spotify, Apple,
Jojo.
iTunes, pretty much any place that you listen to podcasts, we're over there. And Craig, I just want to thank you so much for having us on. I know that like you came on our show, you were really gracious to grace us with your presence on our Saturday morning stream, and it was a lot of fun to get to reconnect with Adam and meet your other panelists and talk about DSP and all this other stuff. So thank you so much for having us on. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, this is great. I look forward to having you guys on again, and anytime you guys want me on, Salty Nerd, I'd gladly come on. Just give me a heads up. So with that said, we're gonna head over to Patreon now. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else you need to pop in today. No, go buy the shirt, go do that, and appreciate your support. Let's see if one person will come over and become a brand new patron over at patreon.com/sidescrollers. Twitch, we will see you guys later. Adam?
I'm waiting for your outro.
Oh,
before you
yeah.
start
Damn it.
Twitch.
All right. Hey, guys, remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let him. You guys got a goal. Go get it. Twitch, get the hell out of here.
Fatality.
I don't know, that's pretty good.
No, get the hell out of here. All right, Twitch, we're going to get out of here. Sounds good. And YouTube, we're going to get out of here as well. Thank you guys very much for your support. We'll see you guys over at patreon.com/sidescrollers in just a second. Have a great day.
Fatality.
All right, there we go. We are off.